support is done it. Support on your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him or they dumb. Cash app, $, unbiased run. Haters gon' hate, supporters donate. I'm really one of them ones. Haters gon' hate, supporters donate. Support on your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him or they dumb. Cash app, $, unbiased run. Please don't, please support, donate. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him or they dumb. Cash app, $, unbiased run. Cash app, $, unbiased run. Cash app, $, unbiased run. I'm really real one of them ones that they dumb. Thumbs up. Subscribe, cash app, $, unbiased run.
Okay, so if y'all didn't see the post I created, it is right here. So, you know, it's embarrassing how much power people give us, right?
Like you now.
It's embarrassing how much power these cats give us. Again, CAT is an acronym for coons and tethers. So it's embarrassing how much power these cats give us. In one breath, they say FBAs are just a minority cult group, no influence. You want to go back and Gigi? Okay, you got to be quiet. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, no influence. Ain't moving the needle. Pan-African is alive and well, and has done so much more, and they're doing so much now. Then they'll say something like this: the FBI is using Tariq Nasheed to stop global Black unity. First of all, there's no such thing as global Black unity. Black, okay, as an ethnonym of an ethnicity, is only national in the United States, dealing with people of U.S. chattel slavery, the lineage that ties there. If your lineage does not tie to U.S. chattel slavery, you're not Black as far as we're concerned in America. When we look at people abroad, outside of America, we look at you and identify you by what you call yourself: Haitian, Jamaican, Trinidadian, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Nigerian, Igbo, Ghanaian. You get it? We don't look at y'all as Black people. We look at y'all as the person from your country or your tribe. But somehow when you come over here, you're magically Black, like us. And we don't really, that's not something that we actually accept. We look at you as different, not in a bad way or a good way, just a different person from a different ethnicity. Okay? Okay? So Tariq Nasheed, the cult leader, they call him, all right, has enough influence where he could stop global billions of Africans and Caribbean from coming together. There's one man who's a cult leader, they say, no influence, ex-pimp. They say all these negative things, but this guy has influence to stop global African Caribbean unity of a billion people, billions of people. Okay? Interesting. All right. I'll send the link out later when I'm done with this right here. No need for a link right now. I got a lot to cover. All right. So that's interesting. One breath we're powerless, and another breath we're powerful. You can't make this up. Okay. So we're gonna go, where are we gonna go next? Okay. So just for some entertainment, right? This caught my attention yesterday. So I don't know if y'all seen this. This went viral. Viewer discretion advised. There's gonna be some fighting. If you're not into this, don't watch it. But viewer discretion advised. There will be some fades going on. So anyway, it turns out some guys that look Latino, could be Italian or some other type of white, right? But they look Hispanic. Well, the guy commentating with the phone sound like he's from Spanish. I mean, sound like a Spanish guy of Spanish descent. Okay. Anyway, it turned out that one Spanish guy was offering this cop. He looks like he's FBA, but he could be something else. I don't know. Looks like he did one of those put down your badge and see me 1v1 with the fade. So the cop obliged. Okay. Okay, that's what I don't want the audio. How I turn the audio down? That's what I did not want. Okay, so I'm blocking the audio. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you gonna get the fade. Mm-hmm. Boop boop. Oh, he is throwing some Roy Jones punches out there. So you see other cops out there letting them get it in. Yeah, he is. Ooh. Again, viewer, put him down. So now the other dude stepped up and stole one in real quick. Okay, so now it's 2v1. You know, kind of how a debate be me versus a whole panel. And the cop that looks like FBA, but could be anything, he's taking punches very well. So, but nobody's jumping in. Nobody's, they letting them get it. Uh-huh. Doing the cream must got no pop. But he's running his mouth, though. He's popping. Oh, there you go. Pop, block, and drop it. He dropped down, got his eagle on. Or he got up. Look, and then he dapped him up. Look. Yo, yo. We got to find out where he's from. That's some FBA shit. All right. Here's the intro.
And Melanin American. Let me get Melanin American in the building. Melanin American, what's happening?
Oh man, what's up, Tariq?
What's other?
All right, man. I know you're gonna roast me for this question, man, or not this question, but it's a slight criticism. On constructive criticism.
Hopefully it's based in fact. If it's not like like it's not.
Well, you can educate me on this because I see a little problem with the terminology of foundational Black American.
How so?
Well, because number one is redundant, because foundational Black American. Okay, so Blacks are the foundational Americans. We could just leave the Black part out.
No, why do you have a problem with the word Black? There's nothing wrong with Black.
Because I feel like that's a term that was put on us as to put us in like a racial caste system and place us at the bottom. We went from Negro, which is a variant of Black. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we embraced it and we turned it into something, but it's not a name that we originally called ourselves. That's my problem with that.
Well, the thing is, different circumstances, people call themselves different names. All ethnic groups based on circumstances, like certain Indians, Creek Indians, they didn't call themselves Creek Indians. That was a name that the Europeans came and saw as, okay, you guys live by the creek, you're Creek Indians. So the thing is, Black, understand this, Black is not just a color, that signifies a lineage and a struggle. You understand? Black is not just a color. It's not just a melanin. It's based on a lineage. You understand? It's based on resistance. We actually chose Black because they were saying Negro and the N-word and colored and all of that. No. We're foundational Black Americans, not just foundational Americans. Because, people will try to co-opt that. They can try to remix that. Now, when you say foundational Black American, now you're being very, very specific. You understand? Blackness, the Black identity is legally and historically recognized throughout history. Blackness, that's been used to determine access, exclusion, exploitation. from slavery, the 3/5 clause, Jim Crow, redlining, mass incarceration. They were doing that to black people. They used the word black, and we're gonna let them know, okay, yes, we're still black and you still owe us. Now, I ain't about to make this shit vague. No, no, no. We're owed as black folks, as foundational black Americans. We're going to use the legal and social language used against us to get compensation, which includes black. Yeah, we're removing black, that disconnects foundational black Americans from our unique cultural contributions. Hip hop, black. Foundational black Americans. Jazz, foundational black Americans. Soul food, foundational black Americans. Hoodoo, foundational black Americans. Civil rights movement, foundational black Americans. We're owning that. You understand? It's not just foundational, it's foundational black American. See, we just say foundational American, that ignores the cultural, spiritual, and artistic genius that rose up out of blackness. That's the thing that makes the shit so great. We did that when blackness was being oppressed, and we still rose up and created all of these great things as black people, as an oppressed group. That's what makes us goddamn superheroes to a damn certain degree. The blackness, that's the thing, that's the key ingredient in the sauce. That's the key ingredient. That's what makes us so unique and so remarkable.
When people hear black, though, when people come to America and they hear black, they think people that come from chattel slavery, sharecropping, Jim Crow, redlining, Fair Housing Act, discrimination. And so American blackness is distinctly different than everywhere else. How do you define it?
Now that the designation of foundational black American has taken hold, that's a name that reflects the historic and political specificity of our lineage. That genie ain't going back in the bottle. Now other people try to embrace it. I'm black too, my nigga. We're all black. Nah, well.
Always open to the conversation, because one thing, being black Brits, and we're both of Ghanaian West African heritage, but we're British-born Africans. Always open to the conversation, because one thing, being black Brits, and we're both of Ghanaian West African heritage, but we're British-born Africans. We're British-born Africans.
I'm not black, nigga. I'm Jamaican. Remember back in the 90s? We would hear that all the time. They act like they weren't saying that. I used to hear that when I was single back in the club days. I would always hear these Caribbean and African women, black as hell. Oh, I'm not black, I'm Ethiopian. Oh, I'm not black, I'm Caribbean. Oh, I'm not black, I'm Trinidadian. They would always say that. They wore that shit as a badge of honor.
Let me say that again. I am not black, okay? Hear me out. Growing up, my mom absolutely hated when we refer to ourselves as black. She's like, you're not black, you're Nigerian, you're African. I feel like the term someone is black obviously comes from the slave era, but it also just describes displaced people that don't know their heritage. So I feel like people that do know their heritage, to try and curb racism in some way, people are going to be racist. Ignorance is ignorance. You can't. But just curb racism in a small way. Stop referring to yourself as black. You know, if you know where you're from, you're raised in a certain household. You know, Somalians are Somalians, Ethiopians are Ethiopians, Nigerians are Nigerians. Like, if you know where you're from, why refer to yourself as a color? I feel like when we say black, it just sounds so harsh, and like, this is black. I'm brown. You know, I'm Nigerian at the end of the day. Like, that's who I am. That's where I come from. Let me say that again. I am not black. Okay. So I understand when you say black. So I understand when you say black British or black American, because you don't know where you're from. You're just a person of color in the city that you're in. Obviously, you still be treated the way you're treated, but just like, I feel like it just, when I hear someone refer to me as black, it just sounds so harsh, especially coming from a certain demographic. I think if you have the privilege of knowing where you're from, you shouldn't refer to yourself as a color, because it further, pushes the racism narrative. And
I am ADAS, American descendants of slaves. I am a black American, and I am an American.
Let me know who you are. Foundational Somali, hop on, Foundational Somali. Mr. Foundational Somali, hop on, man. I just invited you. Hop on if you got a question.
The people that's mostly all the people that's over here.
Yeah, foundational Black American, just a Black American whose lineage goes to the beginning of this country. That's all the foundational Black American is. It is nothing else. There's nothing else classified as a foundational Black American. It's only people whose lineage goes to the founding of this country. That's it. And you've met them before.
So when you say founding of the country, you mean founding of the United States or founding of like just in general North America at the time?
The United States. We're talking about the United States.
Okay, so from the time the United States was formed, the people that was here until now, basically.
Right. If you were here during the formation of the United States, that would be in the 1700s, 1800s. If you were here as a Black person, no matter how they came, when the formation of the United States was happening, and you were Black, you were part of the ethnogenesis. We became a whole new ethnic group during that formation. So that's what the argument is. Some people try to get into well, who are the Native Americans? Are you really Cherokee? I don't get, that's a bullshit argument. I don't even get into. That ain't got nothing. That the ethnogenesis is what we're talking about. We're talking about the ethnogenesis where you became Black. You know?
Yeah. No, it makes sense because there's a lot of people that claim, like you said, you don't get into it, but that claim Native American that I feel like got absorbed by the FBA people, and it's like it's a little weird because it's making the FBA like how do I put it? It's two different two different views, but they come together to make one. So it makes it look.
I don't know what being. This is not about views. This is not about an ideology. So somebody misinterpreting history, that has nothing to do with the fact that foundational Black American is a lineage that's documented. All right. Even if a handful of foundational Black Americans told you, well, I think we were the first Native Americans, or I feel like I'm a Native American, now whatever. Our lineage is still our lineage. All right. None of that stuff. Nobody's ideology deletes plantation archives, Freedmen Bureau records, the 1700 census pages. None of that stuff gets deleted. Our paperwork is still there. Our lineage is still there. All right. No matter what your ideology is, no matter what your views are, that's irrelevant. See, people try to get into these ideological arguments. If your lineage can be traced to the beginning of this country, you are by definition foundational. That's it. That's it. No matter what you can pretend you from Mars or whatever, but if your paperwork can trace back to a certain place, which is America, and you are Black, and your ancestors were Black, that makes you foundational. It's that simple, right?
Yeah, the way, I don't know why they have never explained it to me this simple, bro.
Yeah. It's not rocket science, and it's been explained like this before, I think.
Yes, it had been explained like that before. That was me explaining it to fools. Okay? Fools go into Tariq Nasheed website and make a mess and be deceptive. And when they come in contact with me, they get cooked, they get cleaned up. Okay, they get cleaned up very easily. I make it very simple, right? Very simple. So you see, Tariq Nasheed said what I said. The weight is not on your ideology. The weight is on your lineage, your genealogy. The simple question is, it doesn't matter how you got here, if you were here 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, doesn't matter. Can you prove your ancestors went through U.S. chattel slavery, yes or no? If their answer is no, you're not FBA, or you might be in question, because some people ancestry may go through chattel slavery and they just have a problem, finding records. So it's not necessarily a absolute no, but you're in question, like you're questionable. You're off to the side. All right. But the people who know where they're from and they know they can't prove U.S. chattel slavery because they come from somewhere else, Africa, the Caribbean, you're not FBA. Real simple. It's not difficult. And those of us who can prove that our ancestors went through U.S. chattel slavery, clearly you're FBA. That is the weight. The weight is not on the ideology. The weight is not how you got here or if you've been here 1,000 million years ago. That's not where it's at. All right. So I just wanted, since y'all want to appeal to Tariq Nasheed, you got it from his mouth. He said it exactly the way I said it, almost verbatim. Okay. That's how you be very clear and absolute. Now, we're not tolerating any foolishness in the chat. I'm deleting comments. I'm timing people out. I don't care if you got a wrench or not. If you're disrespectful, if you're talking sideways, if you got to take your medicine, whatever, then go ahead and do that and come back. Put the liquor down. You dig, take your medicine and chill out and relax to a great live. Okay. Tariq Nasheed had an exchange. He had a great exchange with a civil rights lawyer, right? Civil rights lawyer. And he asked about reparations. She's, I believe she never said, I think she said she was foundation. I think she said she was foundational. Okay. But it was a great back and forth. You know, she was appealing to her own authority a lot. She was like kind of dismissing Tariq Nasheed concerns about the angle that she would approach reparations with, her and her team full of lawyers. Okay. And she was like very dismissive. And Tariq Nasheed was kept saying, yeah, that's kind of like a trick bag. That's like an all-inclusive 2026 version of the civil rights package all over again, where we fought, we died, we got locked up, jailed, abused, terrorized for other people to take advantage of what was supposed to be restitution and other things for us. All right. Yeah. So with that being said, let's get to where we got to get to. All right. So I'm gonna bring you the conversation, right, between the lawyer, the civil rights lawyer. She says she's FBA, and Tariq Nasheed, and I will come back and give commentary after the exchange. So take notes, listen very carefully. This was a good dialogue. So it's a learning lesson. All right.
There's no rioting, there's no protest, there's no nothing. When somebody dies here, they're dead.
Now let me ask you this. Now, what's your stand on reparations? Because there's a major reparations movement going on with foundational Black Americans. What's your stand on that?
So if I can give a little bit of background about myself. So I, as a civil rights attorney, we had a guy running for what's called the county attorney here, and they're called different things in different states, but basically he's the attorney for the county, and he promised that he would do a lot of things for the Black community when he got in, and he didn't. And one of the things I pushed him on was any qualified immunity. Texas will never do it. Abbott will never do it, but we can do it locally. If you stop doing it here, that's the start. But anyways, that being said, he didn't. And so he was in office. So when he didn't, I ran against him. Not because I wanted his job, because I wanted to bring light to what his promises he didn't keep and to push. But one of the things that I did push was for reparations in Texas in particular. And I had lawyers that were, I heard that before. My assistant told me I sound like Kamala, but I'm a California Black girl, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, with that being said, I actually had lawyers get together and brainstorm, how can we get reparations in Texas in particular? Because remember, Juneteenth started in Texas because we legitimately had people continuing to be enslaved after it ended. So we have a better cause of action before the court to show that there was, from the employment standpoint, because there weren't, we were just brainstorming it all. But with that being said, with my run, that was part of my platform.
Okay,
and
hold on. From an employment standpoint, what do you mean reparations from an employment standpoint?
Well, what I meant was that they were still getting free employment labor from the individuals in Texas that were free for 2 years. We know that for sure. And so from not being paid as when they should have been paid as employees, as an angle as well that we were brainstorming.
Okay, I'm a little lost.
It's okay. It's okay. Again, it was a brainstorm. But in other words, how do you make somebody continue to? They're continuing to work, and they were not being paid. So if nothing else, you owed them for free labor, because we knew that slavery was abolished. So you couldn't call them slaves. You had to pay them. You owe them back pay for those 2 years that they were working for free.
So sounds like you were trying to use that as a precedent for.
Absolutely. That's why I said Texas in particular had a different angle.
Okay. So you were trying to use what was happening with the formerly enslaved coming out of Galveston and what happened to them as a precedent for employment compensation.
Right, exactly. That was the angle that we were taking, and then we could widen it.
That's not reparations, dear.
No. We could. That was the avenue to get in. Plus, because you can bring more than one claim.
Oh Lord, ma'am, no.
You can bring more than one claim. So you might, and a lot of times that's what we do. Like, for example, the lady that was killed that was unalived in Minnesota. Everybody was so hell bent on arguing. Was she trying to hit him? Was she, was it self-defense? All that doesn't even really. You can go back and forth with that. But what the claim that will work is the denial of medical care. It is required.
Right. So that's for everybody. That's not a reparations claim. That's like using what happened to.
No, I'm going off the reparations subject, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes you have to bring more than one claim.
Right. But no, ma'am, you're tying it all in. I'm following you. I see where you're going with it. You're using what happened to Black people in Texas to say, okay, they deserve reparations, and so does this white woman who was unalived.
No. I'm talking about two separate subjects. I jumped subjects. I'm sorry. So I only jumped subjects to show that sometimes you have to bring more than one claim. We had the excessive force, right, with her, and we had the medical claim.
But it's tied in. You're tying it in, though. You're using one.
Let me go back to Texas.
Ma'am, slow down. You're using one as a precedent for the other, ma'am. So it is tied in. It's not two different things. You're using one as a precedent for the other, ma'am.
No, I want you to understand. I'm going to stay on Texas, okay? So what I'm saying is, in Texas, forget the Minnesota stuff. In Texas, what I was saying was that we can bring the employment and the reparations. We may fail in the reparations, but we have a viable employment claim. Sometimes when we bring these cases, we have to bring more than one cause of action, more than one claim, in order to hopefully make the weaker one kind of hang on and get stronger, so you can do the investigation, so you can do the discovery, so you can get the information.
That's the same thing as civil rights. It was supposed to be for us, same thing for affirmative action. It was supposed to be for us, but let's bring everybody else in it so they can benefit from affirmative action. That's the same thing. Very bad precedent to use affirmative action to tie it into employment discrimination or employment compensation. Yeah, that's going to weaken reparations for us. We don't get it. We are the fuel to basically create a precedent so everybody else can benefit. And that has been the problem. We're going to be back at square one, ma'am.
I don't think you understand what I'm explaining. I'm not explaining it well enough, because I am not talking about employment cause of action for everyone. What I am talking about.
You are, ma'am.
I'm not. Well, I said I wasn't explaining well enough, and I'm trying to re-explain, but you're telling me you're not trying to really hear that. So that's fine. But what I'm trying to talk to you is exclusively descendants of Black slaves in Texas bring two claims, one for reparation in the lawsuit and one for employment in the lawsuit. Once we get the lawsuit going, we can start we have tools. We have subpoena tools. We have discovery tools. We have all kind of tools. We have witness tools. We have a lot of tools available.
How would you use employment as it relates to just Foundation of Black Americans, descendants of slaves? How would you use employment to target a specific ethnic group? You couldn't do that. It would have to be applicable to everybody.
I'm a lawyer, and I happen to know you can do that. So if you want to find out how, I can share with you, but you can't tell me what I can't do, because I know
let's share. How could you do that with employment?
So with employment, if whoever we find out after we do the investigation, again, this was brainstorming activities that we were involved with, but we go and find out who these employers were. They might have been a hotel back then. They may have been Wells Fargo back then. They may have been all kind of, whoever it may, the employer would have been back then that benefited off of the free labor from the formerly enslaved, right? So we start there. Who are these people? So they got free labor, continued free labor from our ancestor, my ancestors, maybe yours, I don't know, got free labor from them. So in doing that and going back and doing that investigation, we can bring a claim for the failure for those companies to pay our ancestors. In addition, reparations for the failure can be brought as well. It's a part of that. So that's what I mean by that. We may not make the the reparation claim stick, but we'll get a lot of information in doing so. And information is what's going to carry the day. We need to find out who was benefiting from the free labor. Who was that? Do you know? Who we're going to get the reparations from? Because Wells Fargo, I know, is part of it. But who else?
The U.S. government, ma'am. Even Johnny Cochran talked about this.
But it's more than the U.S. government. They're going to get that money from.
No. See, that's like you don't sue the getaway driver when the mastermind planned the whole crime. This is the U.S. government.
No, see, that's why you're not a lawyer and I am, because you sue every fucking body who is responsible, everybody who benefited from us.
Yeah, the entire government.
Everybody, the government and everybody who was complicit, all the conspiracy actors. You sue them all. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we stay in our lane. And if you were my client, I would tell you, no, this is who we're going to sue. You don't tell me that we're just suing the government. We're suing everybody, and I'm going to find out all who's involved because everybody got to pay.
Yeah, but you got to go after the big dog first.
I know. Listen, I know who to go for. I don't need advice on that. But I would get with lawyers, and we would brainstorm because they do owe us. And if you want to internally fight about that and tell me don't sue this person, just sue the government, don't sue the private companies, we just need the big dog. No.
Yeah, I would say that because the corporations, they rise and fall. They're gonna fall by breaking bread. That's how they fall. A private corporation could just dissolve their corporation.
They're gonna fall by breaking bread. Well, that's what it
file
is.
Chapter 13 and then start a whole new corporation.
Then that is what it is. We know how to chase the money. We know how to go after people who file bankruptcy. The bankruptcy will not protect them from this. We know how to deal with this. You think that they'll be the first to think that that's the way out is bankruptcy? You don't know this world. I'm in it.
And I'm in it too, ma'am. And I know that I'm in
the court. I'm in the legal world. You're in the fight, but I'm in this world. We know how to chase these. You think these people haven't thought about bankruptcy over and over again?
Then, ma'am, how come you have not gotten it then?
Gotten what?
The money. Any reparations for us?
Well, why don't you pay for the lawsuit and I will?
Let's get it together. I would love. We've been begging for lawyers to come on.
Pay for the lawsuit and I will.
Yeah, if you do it, yeah, we have no problem with that.
I said I will.
Let's get the lawyers together.
I will.
Yeah,
I said I will.
If we can, if we can pry them off of immigration.
But guess what? Back to my original point. When I ran against this person, I felt like being the county attorney, if I were to actually have accidentally won, because I didn't really want the job, but had I accidentally won, then on my website, I put up a reparations panel is what I would put together, filled with lawyers and using the county's money to pay for all this and file the lawsuit on behalf of the descendants of slaves in Texas from Harris County.
Are you running for office now? Are you running for office?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
You voted for you sound just like Kamala. I know you voted for Kamala.
I only did it. Yeah, I only did it. I only ran for office, like I said, because this person lied. He came as a friend. He came as a social justice warrior, the person that we needed. We had a gang injunction in Harris County. Myself and 5 other lawyers got together and we crushed that gang injunction like they had never seen before. And so he came as a friend, holding his hand out, saying, "Oh, I can't believe that the county attorney would do a gang injunction on these black men in our community." And then, so we're thinking he's friendly, and we promoted him, and we asked people to get him in office. He came out, and he's been my. I go to on Monday in New Orleans. I will be there in the Fifth Circuit, United States Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, arguing a case where a man was beaten so bad, and he's on the other side. This social justice person is who's going to be on the other side fighting me in the Fifth Circuit, trying to get justice for this young man.
Mm-hmm. Now you clicked in with Roland Martin.
No.
Okay, because I think he's out there somewhere. I don't know. Lord,
I'm not in the sorority. I'm not from a sorority.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, Miss Lord.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I think we're on the right team. We just got to, get it together and forge ahead. And if you have some people that we can get this lawsuit together, I'm with it.
There you go. Thank you so much, dear. Lord. Okay. All right. Well, it's giving Kamala. It's giving a lot of Kamala, ladies and gentlemen. Man. Oh, goodness. Mm-hmm. Man.
All right. So there you go. So she appealed to her own authority. She's a lawyer, so she must be correct, right? She's a civil rights lawyer. She's not a reparationist lawyer, right? She handles civil suits, personal injury, class action suits. But reparation, that's neat. You know what I mean? She tried to say it's not Tariq lane. That's not your lane either, ma'am. You don't have no reparation claims under your belt. All right. So before I go there, let me go here. Okay. So there's many advocacy groups that's within the lineage. Okay. Some of them we heard of, some of them we did not hear of them. Just because they're not popularized and all over YouTube, social media, the news doesn't mean they don't exist. But here's one that do exist. Okay, so this goes to Tariq's point. Okay, so does the ADOS Advocacy Foundation support local reparations initiatives? Because Tariq Nasheed pointed out a great point. He said, but businesses, they just go belly up. Donald Trump went bankrupt how many times and he's still a gazillionaire? This is what happens. They got trusts, all type of stuff out there. Man, that money's protected. Ain't no business going. Come on. Anyway, our aim, this is ADOS Advocacy Foundation. Our aim at the ADOS Advocacy Foundation is to create a piece of federal legislation that can comprehensively satisfy our community's needs. We view local reparations. So this is a shot at that slow hotep guy that be begging for cash apps all the time. Local reparations, cities. We view local reparations programs as a contradiction and is very unlikely to achieve their stated purpose of compensating for the economic legacy of slavery. Like, for example, government can sue states, right? The federal government can sue a state. So when you go to sue a state for slavery and you got a settlement in your favor and the federal government sue that state, they get their money first. And whatever else is left, that's for you. That's why Tariq Nasheed is right. There's nothing wrong with going after states, nothing is wrong going after cities and institutions like banks and whatever companies. Yeah, but that you got to understand the risk there. You got to understand that's not a solid plan. That's a plan, but it ain't solid. You'll learn the difference in a second. Anyway, it's a contradiction and very unlikely to achieve their stated purpose of compensating for the economic legacy of slavery. This is because states and localities confront enormous budgetary impediments concerning direct cash payments, the most symbolically and materially significant component of any repair initiative for past harms. Moreover, it seems that those states or localities that do pursue reparations programs for slavery and ongoing discrimination have focused their efforts exclusively on the latter set of harms, most often via programs that seek to redress victims of unjust housing policies that began in the latter half of the 20th century. In many cases, these offenses were not unique to ADOS. That's what he was trying to explain to the lawyer. This potential for competing, right, identical claims to be filed by other groups is at odds with our purpose here at the ADOS Advocacy Foundation, which is to ensure that any reparations policy encompasses the fullness and singularity of our group's victimization, which must involve the original harms suffered under the institution of chattel slavery. Okay, so it's the government that we go after. All right, because you'll see. Right. So somebody in the chat said they agree with the lawyer. I know because she's a lawyer. She sounds like she's right. She sounded confident. She was very aggressive. Right. So she must be right. Right. Well, let's see. So the lawyer, her argument was she was suggesting using the 2-year delay of Juneteenth, which was from 1863 to 1865 in Texas, as a back pay employment claim, right? Since slavery was legally abolished by the Emancipation Proclamation. So she argues that those 2 years present unpaid labor wage theft rather than just slavery, because she's saying that slavery was abolished and we were still working. We didn't know, right? We didn't know it was abolished. We're still working. So that's not slavery no more. You're just working with no pay. So that was her angle, right? So here's the fact. The fact is, nobody would deny that it's a historical fact that we, the enslaved, and those that were enslaved in Texas, were not informed of their freedom until June 19th, 1865, right? They were still doing free labor. So despite the 1863 proclamation, they were still laboring, okay? So legally, the concept of unpaid wages is a standard cause of action in civil court. So she had a little something there, right? So she was taking the back pay angle. So she was proposing suing for the 2-year period in Texas between the Emancipation Proclamation and Juneteenth, 1863, 1865. So her logic is that since slavery was technically illegal during those 2 years, it was legal prior to Emancipation Proclamation. So once that happened, it was illegal, right? So it was illegal during those 2 years. So the enslaved people were actually employees. That's her terminology, which we cringe when we hear that terminology. Like, you playing with fire, talking about we were employees. Where's our W-2? Where's our W-9? You dig? But she framed us as employees and that we were victims of wage theft, right? So her goal, as she pointed out, as she articulated, was to use employment law to get a foot in the door, she says, to sue for damages, right? So she said it. She said, so what she want to do is sue everybody. She want to throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. So she believes in bringing multiple claims, medical negligence, medical apartheid, that type of stuff, excessive force, wage theft. Okay, so she's hoping one sticks, or where she could force a settlement, right? Because you overwhelm them with so many lawsuits, they just settle out like Diddy with Cassie. But here's the problem. Yes, lawyers can be wrong. Their strategies can be terrible. Here's the problem. As Tariq Nasheed points out, okay, framing reparations as an employment dispute that risks reducing a massive human rights crime to a simple labor violation. That's the problem. So if we sue for back pay, the remedy is usually just the value of the wages plus interest. It doesn't account for the chattel nature of the preceding 244 years, right? So that's the thing. Then Tariq said, hey, basically he said, watch out for the precedent trap, right? The precedent trap. So far, are y'all with me? So I think I did a good job of recapping the discussion, right? So now listen closely, because it's important. It's important. So Tariq Nasheed warned her of the precedent trap. Okay. So he said, hey, tying reparations to employment law creates a precedent that benefits everyone, like the civil rights bill. Okay. With the whole minority, terminology, the old color, the people of color. But I recall during the civil rights movement, I recall during Jim Crow, it said whites only, color only, and that color wasn't for, or it wasn't inclusive to black and browns, whatever that means. It wasn't inclusive to Africans of the continent or Caribbeans. That was specifically with one people in mind when it said colors only and whites only. But somehow, post integration, everybody's colored people now. Everybody, can act like those signs were for them. And that's what Tariq Nasheed is saying. Okay, we got to be, okay, listen, this happened before. We're not going to let it happen again. All right. So he was saying, okay, let's say if you win a case based on employment discrimination or wage theft, as you put it. He said, or as she put it, he said, then any worker of any race could eventually use the same victory to sue. He's not wrong. That's a fact. So Tariq Nasheed was correct regarding legal precedent. Okay, in the U.S. legal system, laws must generally be facially neutral. If a court rules that a group is owed money based on an employment statute, that statute must apply to all employees. So here's the problem. The Pan-African lawyer argues that she can target a specific ethnic group using employment law. Okay. So while, yeah, you can sue on behalf of a specific group of plaintiffs, the law she is using, likely the Fair Labor Standards of, she's using the Fair Labor Standards Act or something similar. That's universal. That's a fact. That's universal. So again, Tariq Nasheed was fearing during that dialogue, he was fearing that right there is going to water down the specific claim of foundational Black American lineage, Adolph's lineage, descendants of freedmen lineage. Okay, so he was pushing back. He was arguing that framing reparations as an employment dispute is dangerous, is risky. So employment laws are, again, like I said, facially neutral. If you set a precedent that a group of people can sue for past wage theft or discrimination, anyone, women, immigrants, other minorities, Dr. Clark said, humpback, midgets, leprechauns, they can do the same thing. They can use the same legal precedent to sue. You can't just make it for foundational Black Americans. Okay, it becomes an all for one for all type thing. So that dilutes, he's arguing that dilutes the specific claim of chattel slavery, which is unique to foundational Black Americans, ADOS. Okay, it's unique and it dilutes our specific claim of chattel slavery into a general labor dispute, which applies to everyone. That's another nothing burger. That's another DEI, affirmative action. No. We're not letting those holes, right, exist. Okay, that's not gonna happen this go around. Okay, yeah. So he was on it because when I first heard the dialogue, I was like, I don't really know. I'm like, she sounded about right. But then, like, when I had time to fact check, I said, oh, no. His antennas was definitely on it. Okay, so let's see, where we at? So let me see. Let's go. Okay. So she claimed that filing a weaker employment claim, because she said, yeah, reparation is kind of a big deal. Let's go for the small thing first. Let's get a victory somewhere. So she said filing a weaker employment claim alongside reparations, a reparations claim, it allows her to use a subpoena and discovery tools. Okay, so that is a common legal tactic, right? Discovery is the pre-trial phase where you can force a company like Wells Fargo, somebody said Chase, Antenna, okay, to hand over internal documents and archives. This is a slick move. Even if we lose the case, if she lose the case, okay, she has successfully unearthed the evidence of their complicity, right? So it's a, it's a slick little move there. But she said she mentioned, she said, even if the reparation claim fails, the lawsuit allows for discovery. So basically, once a lawsuit is filed, lawyers have the power to subpoena records. She wants to force companies, hotels, whoever, to open their archives to see exactly how much money they made off slave labor, right? But here's the problem. That sounds good on the surface, but you got to look at the back end. That is a backdoor approach, okay? Tariq Nasheed was saying by bringing in everyone else. Okay, he referenced the lady in Minnesota, and then he said affirmative action. The specific debt owed to us, the descendants of U.S. chattel slavery, is ignored. So he said that's a distraction. That's a nothing burger. So he said, looking at hotels, private companies, banks, you're giving the U.S. government a pass, which was the ultimate authority that enforced slavery. Why are we giving the U.S. government a pass? Okay. So you got to sue the U.S. government because the U.S. government is the mastermind, have been the mastermind, and they have the power. Listen to the biggest thing. Like I said, the U.S. government can sue states, sue cities, sue institutions, and bankrupt them or take a large penny from them. But guess what? When you sue the U.S. and then guess what? Those things can file for bankruptcy. Okay, but the U.S. government, it does something they can't do. When you sue the U.S. government, it does not go bankrupt. You know what it does? It prints currency. The federal government can print money. States, cities, and private institutions can't. That's why you sue, and that's why the government, being the head racist in charge, the money can't go anywhere. They have the ability to print money from thin air. State, cities, local institutions, private institutions can't do that. Okay. And like I said, like Tariq Nasheed said, companies and things like that can go bankrupt. Okay, so under the statute of limitations, suing a private company for something that happened in 1860, check this out. This is what she didn't want to touch on. Under the statute of limitations, suing a private company for something that happened in 1860 is nearly impossible unless you can prove fraudulent concealment of records. Okay, so she claims bankruptcy won't protect them. This is largely incorrect according to 2026 standards. According to recent research, that's not true. Unless a debt is tied to specific types of fraud or intentional torts, Chapter 11 or Chapter 7 bankruptcy is exactly how corporations escape massive liabilities. Okay, so as a civil rights lawyer, she should know that. Okay, so just for recap, so she believes in using avenues and multiple claims. She's willing to sue. She's willing to use existing laws, employment, medical negligence to get a foot in the door. Tariq said, been there, done that. Nothing burger. Let's just go after the federal government, right? Let's not turn a specific ethnic debt into a general civil rights issue that other groups will eventually hijack, which they have done before. Okay, so he is standing 10 toes on code, right? Which is lineage-based claim that is exclusive to ADOS, FBA, descendant freedmen, however you want to label us. So Tariq obviously dismissed her. It sounded like a demo rat, a Kamala in the DNC, which stands for Democratic National Committee. Okay. And why did he do that? You could say that's ad hominems, but it wasn't. Okay, because she was speaking the language of integration and reform. She said, we crush that gang injunction. So bring everybody in so they can benefit. Okay. So the overall FBA view, right? We reject that, obviously. Our stance is exclusionary. I said that for over a year. No, we're not inclusive. We're exclusive like everybody else. When the Japanese got their reparations, it was exclusionary. When Jewish people got their reparations, exclusionary. When some Native American tribes got some type of something, it was exclusionary. We get our stuff, it's exclusionary. Okay. So that just simply means reparations should only be for our specific lineage of American slavery, and strategies that help everyone are viewed as nothing burgers. The attorney was operating from a 1960s civil rights playbook. Tariq Nasheed was correct when he pointed that out. Okay, so use any law available, employment, torts to get justice, even if it opens a door for others. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We're closing that door. So we're talking from, she's talking from 1960 language. We're talking from 2020 language, right? The 2020s, all right, which is the lineage playbook, not the civil rights playbook. We're operating from the lineage playbook, okay? We're going to protect our specific inheritance of our group. Okay, we're not going to use strategies that allow other groups to piggyback on our suffering. No, 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 no. Now, the link is there. You guys can join. Don't be long-winded. Don't try to make the show about you. Say what you got to say. You dig? Introduce yourself and say what you got to say. So first up, we got Ursa Worlds. What's going on, sis? And wait, before you say one thing, family. As I told you before, I tell you all the time, our spaces, FBA spaces, are heavily, you got to mute your background, Ursa.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So as I said before, our spaces, FBA spaces, are heavily shadow banned because we talk a lot of political stuff. You dig a lot of history, a lot of Black history. So, you know, a lot of our channels are, especially if we got some type of influence, we got some type of emotion. A lot of our channels are shadow banned. That just means that when we go live, you don't get a notification, right? Most of y'all don't get one. You just happen to see somebody's live. So the way to get around that is to like the video, right? You're already here, but the other subscriber didn't get the notification bell because they'll be here. So what you got to do is what you should do is hit the like. And what that does is that puts my video in the live suggestion feed for other subscribers who didn't get the notification bell. So it's your way of opening the door for them. So you're here, allow them to come here. Click that like button. And Ursa, go ahead, sis. Don't be too long-winded. You know, just, you know, let's have a nice dialogue. And the link is open for people to click the link. Same thing with y'all. Y'all click the link. Don't try to take over the show. See what you got to say and relax. Take your medicine. Yeah. So we're 137 likes. Come on, man. Like we're damn near down 100. Let's stop what we're doing and hit the like button and let the family enjoy this educational live. Okay, go ahead, Ursa.
Hey, how you doing, Ron? Hey,
Doing
FBA
great.
fam. And I would have to say, I'm not trying to take over, but I must kind of go against what you said, because you let that attorney, which was really a nothing burger, talk for a long time. And I really know what I'm talking
that
about.
was the playback of Tariq Nasheed and
Oh, okay. So let me just say this, because I know a lot of people don't know about American history, and I'm not saying that I do, but I am a historian. I have, my family, I'm an FBA, and I traced my family back, one ancestor back to 1698 to New Amsterdam. They came, from Africa, and which is now New York. And so, you know, I was always interested in history, but one thing that they always say is slavery was legal, and it was not legal. Hello?
Yeah, what do you mean it wasn't legal?
It was codified. The reason they didn't legalize it because the Declaration of Independence, or maybe it was one of the amendments, they had us as 3/5 of a human in the South.
Are you sure?
Well, the South counted us as
No.
3/5.
Yeah, but 3/5 of what? Was it your humanity?
Well,
Or
no,
was it
3/5
or was
of
it
a
3/5 of a
citizen,
vote? No, of a vote. No,
3/5
of a
of a
vote.
vote. And do you
Right.
know why they did that?
Yeah, of course. So you can't. So it will be one man. Well, you asked the question.
Because we were counted just like they do now with the illegals. They count them, you know, because that's more representation. If they would have made it legal, if they would have made slavery legal, they would not have been able to do that. We would not have been able to be counted
Not.
as 3/5.
No, yeah, no. So yes, you would, because it's called the 3/5 compromise. So they compromised on that because the South was trying to take. The South was voting against the North, and they was trying to include their enslaved person as one vote. So then the North was like, nah, you can't include them at all, like their property. So they compromised on the 3/5 thingy. That's why it's called a 3/5 compromise.
But if they would have made enslavement legal, they would not have been able to do that. And another
That
thing,
wait, hold
no,
on. Let me address that. That's not true.
okay, they
Because
codified. Okay,
wait,
the
just 1 second. Just 1 second. Just hold on.
enslavement was codified.
Hold on. I got you.
Codes.
Let me just add to that. So up north, as Tariq Nasheed pointed out before, we were allowed to vote during slavery in certain states because states also operate as like they like got some type of sovereignty. They have their own governments, their own laws, their own constitution. So up north in enslavement, we were voting while slavery was illegal. So that's not something unnormal. Right now, there's something called phantom constituents. You heard of that phrase?
But what is it again?
Phantom constituents.
Phantom constituents. Does that have
Right.
something to do with the illegals that are here?
No, that
No.
has
Okay.
something
What
to
is
do
that?
with, okay, so New Yorkers in New York City, when they
Yeah.
get locked up, they get locked, the jails, the prisons are in rural towns. So
Right.
those people get locked up in rural towns, and those rural towns count them as a vote
Yes.
against their will. That's called a
Yes.
phantom constituent. You see, so this is stuff I looked into.
They do
Freestyling.
that here in
Right,
Wisconsin too. Yeah.
right. So you see, but they can't really vote for themselves, like they're in prison.
But
Yeah, but
there
the
is
town
no
takes their vote.
law on the books that made enslavement legal. There are black laws, and there are codes, black codes,
What
but
law
they
made it
did not.
illegal?
They did not make slavery. There's nothing legal. There's nothing. There's nothing on the books that made slavery legal.
Wait, hold on. What I'm saying is, like right now, right, like I'm eating popcorn. Like there's
Well,
no
okay,
law.
but there is nothing on the books, Ron. There
I
isn't.
got you. I got you. I'm going to
Yeah.
reply to you.
Okay.
I'm eating popcorn. There's no
Okay.
law in the book that says eating popcorn is legal. So what I'm saying is, if there's not a law that says it's legal and there's no law to say it's illegal, then you favor that it's legal because
No,
the laws usually tell you what's illegal, what you can't do.
there are codes. But people are saying that slavery was legal. They do that.
It
So
was.
so 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 we can't. No. It was codified. It was codified. A code. You look it up. There were black codes. They look it up because they do that to make us believe that we have no repercussions because
Ma'am.
they always say, well, slavery was legal. No, it
Okay,
was not.
when you say, okay, so right now we have city codes, right? Don't cities got
But
codes?
they're not laws.
Right. So let me explain to you. Okay, do you understand federalism? Because I talk about this a lot on my channel.
I do understand federalism, but at that
Okay.
time, okay. Let me
No,
just
no.
say this, because when okay, like I put in the chat, we would sue the United States Treasury because they are the ones with the records, and the North did not have enslavement, but
Yes, they
Everything,
did.
every cotton barrel went up to the north, and they used that in textile
No,
industries.
the North had slavery.
Well, but okay, the North didn't have the slavery that we would be fighting against.
BS.
The
Now,
textile industries use cotton.
listen, I got you. The North ended their slavery before the South. That's that's the difference. But yeah, now and when they ended slavery, that's where you got some of your free blacks. If they go to a free state, they were. I think that's the whole Dixie line argument. But let me say this though, because you said
Mhm,
codes. Let me respond to that.
mhm,
Actually, about federalism, because that's the hierarchy of laws. So now
mhm.
cities don't pass laws; they pass codes, and they have codes and ordinances. That's why Umar was caught up on codes trying to build that scam school. He was stuck at city codes. Like he had to come up to code. So cities don't pass laws. They give you codes and ordinances. States have laws and they're limited, and the federal government has laws and they're like split. Like they states and federal government laws sometimes overlap and sometimes they just separate from each other. Like there's some things that the state can do legally with their citizens that the federal government have no they can't. That's not under their jurisdiction. So codes is a city thing. It's not a state thing or a federal government thing. The federal government doesn't pass codes; they pass laws.
Exactly. But when they say that slavery was legal in the United States, that is not true. See, this is because they say that well, enslavement was legal in the United States, but that's not true. Every state, every jurisdiction had their own separate codes, but codes is not a law. So that's one point that we can use as far as reparations. Another point which people don't bring up is that cotton was the number one export during enslavement. And this is the reason that the Civil War was fought, because the South was giving better treatment to France and England as far as tariffs. And the North was saying, hey, hold on, wait a minute, because we let you guys have enslavement. Y'all got free labor, and you mean to tell me that we got to pay more tariffs? But England and France, really played the South against the North. So there is other documentation that we have for to prove our reparations, and one is what the North, how they profited from enslavement.
Yeah, yeah. The North had slaves, and they made a lot of tools that they sold to the Southern plantations to make sure that they can get the labor done faster. Like it was kind of like their version of technology. Like the North would create tools and instruments for the South to use to make slavery more productive.
Yeah, but they also done tobacco, like in North Carolina, South Carolina, and
Yeah,
rice down in
rice,
Louisiana. It was
sugar.
it wasn't sugar. It was a lot of, I mean, what they call this, they called it a like a weird, slavery was just part of the of the economic engine. That is why after slavery ended in 1910 or 1914 was when they had to enact the tax code, the tax laws. When people had to start paying taxes because there wasn't that free labor anymore. So it's other ways to get reparations, but we have all these other people that aren't really working on our behalf. And I really do believe, like a lot of our so-called black representatives, I believe they get paid off to not, fight for
See,
reparations
that's the
because,
thing when you say black,
yeah.
and that's what I'm doing over here. See, we say black so vaguely, so
Yeah,
ambiguously, and the way you said it, that can apply to anybody of dark hue. It could be
that's
a
true.
Afro
Yeah. I
Latino,
didn't mean to say that. Sorry. Go
East
ahead.
Indian,
Yeah.
you dig? Because it's just a color, the way they use it. And as Tariq Nasheed articulated in the introduction, which I've been saying for the longest, which the average Black American knows. Okay, anybody 35 years older, they know that we don't define Black as a color. Okay, Prince looks like he's Puerto Rican. Okay, like a white Puerto Rican, and he's Black. So it's not color
It's
based.
political. It's the political, and it's the
Well,
ethnic.
it's something like that, right? But it's
Yeah.
more so to describe something, and it's to describe our experience in this country. So Black
Right.
is the experience. So when we say ethnogenesis, that's the proper term for our experience, but the name that we gave our experience is Black, and we are the Black people of that Black experience.
Well, we're the foundational Black Americans because, well, our 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 history is totally unique, and it really pisses me off when they always say brown and black. We're not immigrants.
Right. Well, yeah. Well. Even when they use it like that, they're using it as colors. They're color coding it. We don't color
Mm.
code our Black. So
Yeah.
that's why I was trying to educate the guy that I was earlier. He said Brazil use a color code, man. They got like 4 different colors. They describe themselves by their tone, by their hue, by their melanin hue. That's how they name themselves. But that's not how they describe it. That's not what they go by their nationality. They say they're Brazilian. They don't say Prito or Negro or Pargo, all those terminology. That's not how they go around society. When they move around, they talk about themselves. They say Brazilian. All right, and even with those color codes, they're split. A quarter might say, "Hey, I'm this color." Another 15% would say, "I'm this color." So even with that, it was no unified agreement on a particular color. That's why there's levels to this. But when it comes to Black, it was a unified national agreement. We all agreed we were Black, and enough of us agreed that we were Black. So it's like no comparison. But y'all can keep trying though.
Yeah, but now everybody call themselves black. Before it was me no black. I'm
Yeah,
Somalian.
but
I'm this.
that's why you got to ask them with one simple question: in what sense are you Black? And they can only tell you from a color-based position. You
Right.
ask them, in what sense are you Black? They got to say, my skin. Like exactly. Okay, but we're not Black because of our skin, because half of us ain't dark skin.
Right.
You
Okay,
dig?
Rod. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love y'all. Bye.
Thank you for the call.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You had me digging my brain, freestyling, but it was good. It was good to like brush up on some of the stuff that I knew. Yeah. So that was a good dialogue. It was edifying. But yeah, the question back to him is, in what sense are you Black? Because you don't call yourself Black as a nationality, as an ethnic. That's not on no document in your country. In your country, you're Jamaican, you're Haitian, you're Brazilian. Okay, you got a Brazilian flag. Where's your Black flag? All right, yeah. So they don't become Black until they come to America, or they take their ass to a European country. So those West African Ghanaians and Kenyans and Nigerians, they become Black when they go to the UK, Scotland, Ireland, and now they're the Black Scottish, Black Irish, Black uh Brit. Stop it. Give me a break. And even then, they're calling themselves after a color and adjective. These guys got a flag. They come from a flag. These folks in these Scotlands and Irelands and Britain land, these people are recent immigrants. They're 2010 immigrants. They either are there themselves, the immigrant, or their parents are immigrants. They're not there since the 1960s and 50s. Stop it. And even if they were, if you could find a handful that were, they came there as Jamaicans. They came there as West Indians. They came there as Africans. They did not come there as Black people. When they come over here, when they flee over here as evacuees, when they come over here as asylees and refugees and all these G's, they come under their flag. Okay, they don't come as a Black Ethiopian. They come as Ethiopian, Senegalese, Congolese, Somalian, Eritrean, Jamaican. That's how they come over here. They don't come over as Black. They become magically Black here after 1997. And I'm gonna say 2010, 2000, around the 2010s, 15s is where all these people magically became black all out of nowhere. All right. And we're not putting up with that. We're taking our black back, we're repoing it, and we're putting it on the people who are black. 1960 is when we called ourselves black. So I explained the whole exonym, endonym thing. Check out yesterday live, and I'll go into a little bit because Tariq Nasheed touched on it somewhat, and even him, I gotta catch him up on that. So I tried to link up with him 3 nights ago. Like he just come on so damn late. But so many, it's crazy. Like tethers say that we're on their mind all day long. All we do is talk about them. Yeah, do you know I couldn't get in touch? I couldn't get in touch with Tariq Nasheed because he had like 20 requests above me. They were all tethers. It's like, wait a minute, I'm trying to talk to Big Bro so we can communicate on Black, all this type of stuff, and I gotta wait behind 20 tethers. Okay, so if Tariq's a cult leader, then he's the leader of the cult tethers. If he's a leader in any sense, he's the tethers leader. He's the Pan-African leaders because all they want to do is talk to this guy, touch his him, and shake his hand. But at the same time, they got so much hate for him, so much jealousy and envy that I can't even contact him because all of y'all in my way. That's embarrassing. So I wanted Tether New to call in. He called in last night at 3 a.m. Come on, bro. Dude, really, I'm going to talk to you at 3 a.m. This is a more appropriate hour, my guy. You can call in now. All right. Because I was trying to save something for you, but I think he know better. He know better. He knows better. So now all of a sudden, Black goes from exclusive language to inclusive language. Now it's anybody of African descent. And let me say this to the family. Look this up. He, as in pink, O-A-D as in dog. Pod. P, pink, O-A-D, D as in dog. Pod. That is the verbiage that's used by, that's used internationally. America is one of the few places where they call people Black outside of us. Everywhere else, they say persons or people of African descent. Africa do not call none of these guys Black. The AU called, the African Union called these guys people of African descent. So they're not even called Black in Africa. Right? So let's be real. But now all of a sudden, Black has become inclusive to all people of African descent, thanks to Jesse Jackson. All right. So we can't forgive him for that one. But thanks to Yvette Carnell, and thanks to Yvette Adol's Advocacy Foundation, thanks to other organizations that's under Descendants of Freedmen, and thanks to the individuals that are FBA, they all written the OMB, the Office Management for Budget or of Budget, to stop using the word Black and African American as this vague generic umbrella for all people of African descent. So many signatures, so many petitions reached the Office of Management and Budget that they actually adhered to it. So let me explain something to y'all. And you only get it here. Jesse Jackson. Well, first of all, we were Black since 1960. And then we were federally known as Black in 1970, right? We were on farms and, just documented, recognized as Black people after we called ourselves Black in the 1960s. And under that Blackness, look what comes in that Blackness. Look what comes under the Blackness. This is why we won't give it up. What comes under the Blackness are the people who were able to gain freedom during slavery when it was, Ursa, legal. When it was legal slavery, certain individuals were able to gain freedom when slavery was not yet abolished. And those people are known historically as free Blacks. not free Africans. They're known as free blacks. I don't care what they call the institutions. They were known as free blacks, and some of their institutions might have the name African, but they didn't refer to themselves as African. They referred to themselves as Negroes and colored people. Negroes and coloreds. Now, so under blackness, we got free blacks. So if you get rid of black and give us African American, you get rid of free blacks. When you get rid of black, and give us African American, you erase black Reconstruction, where after slavery, right after slavery, we got it together. We put ourselves in positions of power and powerful seats of government, cities, sheriffs, all type of powerful positions, and we're making some good money under blackness, not African. That's called Black Reconstruction. That continued, and we developed successful, rich, wealthy cities. And those towns were nicknamed Black Wall Street, not African Wall Street, Black Wall Street. So when you erase black, you're erasing our rich history, all of our accomplishments. Now you got one of the first black airports was the Robbins Airport in 1933, I think in Missouri. And those planes were used to fly to Ethiopia to teach the Ethiopians how to fly aviation. And they helped them take down Italy. So outside of Japan, Ethiopians and the Japanese became the only two non-European nations to take down a European nation. So now they could beat their chest with our help, by the way. Those are black people. So when you erase black and give us African American, that don't exist no more. You see what I'm saying? That's why a lot of these tethers don't respect us, because they think we didn't do anything, because they're here calling us African American, and there's no rich history under African American. I showed you guys A.G. Gasson yesterday. Okay. He was the richest black man in the 1950s, 60s. He had a estimate of $30 million, 30 to $40 million in 1940, 50. They locked Dr. King up. Dr. King Bell was $160,000. Guess who played that? Guess who paid that? A.G. Gasson, Alabama, all type of business, funeral homes, all insurance companies, and he taught black people how to get into business, these entrepreneurs, and start businesses. He taught them LLCs and S corps and how to do taxes, all that type of stuff. Guess what his nickname is? His nickname is the Black Titan. It's not the African Titan. So these rich histories are under blackness. When you get rid of blackness and you give us African American, our history doesn't exist no more. Our history starts at 1989. And guess what was happening in 1989? The height of the crack epidemic. You see what coincides with African American? Once that was introduced, the height of the crack epidemic was at play. 5 years later was the what? 94 crime bill. Okay. So African American is synonymous with the crack epidemic, 94 crime bill. You had stop and frisk, school to prison pipeline. Anybody heard of that? Mass incarceration, 3-strike rule, black on black crime. All of this is under the history of African American. What feats did African American have under that name? The only feat they had under that name was ADOS and FBA. So our ethnic labels, our ethnonyms, was the brightest thing for African American. That label. Black banks, black power, not African banks, not African power. I'm black and I'm proud. Not I'm African, I'm proud. Dr. King said I'm black and beautiful. He didn't say I'm African and beautiful. I think they were called the Black Panthers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were they called the African Panthers? Were they called the African hyenas? Were they called the African bushmeats? Black, 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 black. Okay. So no, we're not going to let Jesse Jackson, under the tutorship of white supremacy, to take black under the rug from us and give us African American, a new history that's a nothing burger, that has no wins under his belt, just losses, no justice, no wins. Okay, so let's get that straight. Now, back to ADOS, back to individual FBAs, back to organizations under Descendants of Freedmen. They all petitioned to the OMB to, hey, we ain't doing that in the 2020s. What you're going to do is expand that checkbox, and you're going to have these guys, these foreigners, fill in where they're really from. Okay, they could check off Black African American all they want, but now they got to check off their homeland, something they hate to do, something they never wanted to return back to. Well, now they got to face it on these forms. And then they said, since there's no name for us, put a write-in section. So when we check in Black African American, we're going to write in FBA, ADOS, or Descendants of Freedmen. So that's what you guys should do, and you have to do. Okay, the OMB encourages us to do that. Okay, they want to know how many people, is rocking. So when y'all get those forms, you fill out your ethnicity, your race, and nationality. You have to obviously check off Black African American, and then in the writing section, put FBA or ADOS or Descendants of Freedmen, however you want to term it, but you put that there. So therefore, you're not yourself admitting you're a generic African or Black person. All right. So when did this change occur? This change occurred in 2024. Okay. That's for Tether. Okay. So before the OMB, the Office Management and Budget, African American was on the forms as a generic label for anybody of African descent. And that was called Policy Directive number 15. Where it just made everybody just generic African, generic Blacks. That's gone. That's gone. Okay. So they got until March 28th, the OMB, these federal agencies, to decide if they're going to add FBA or ADOS to the census form. Yes, they got until March, basically 2 months. You can say next month, because tomorrow's February. So they got till next month. You can say 2 months. 2 months to figure out if they're going to do that. So tethers, coons, I'll call y'all cats. That's the acronym, coons and tethers. So y'all cats, oh my God, y'all better pray like hell to your devil that ADOS or FBA is not added to that census form. All right, this year. Oh my God, yo, we gonna raise the roof, man. Yo, we gonna shut the internet down. And if they ruled against it, no problem. We can just petition again, come with more numbers, more people, as we're doing right now. That's why we're signal boosting. That's why we're live killing it. That's why you guys don't get numbers like us. You dig? You don't get numbers like us. Nobody listening to y'all. Y'all only lit when you put our title in your videos, when you talk about us. This video is called Reparations. Not talking about y'all. Look at the chat. Look at the numbers. You see? So we could talk about ourselves and still be lit. But you guys can't do that. Nobody wants to hear about Pan-Africanism. Nobody want to hear about a tether complaining about their homeland. Okay, you guys are, you're irrelevant, bro. You're obsolete. So again, for those who didn't click the like button, click that like button. That's the tradition over here. You come in, click the like button, and that's like equivalent to tagging your friend to say, hey, pull up FBA News and Updates. Okay. Iceman said, Ron, I believe it's going to be some cosplaying foreigners if it gets added. Oh yeah, you already know that. You already know that. Now, but the problem is, Iceman, now that's fraud. See, it's not fraud if they click Black and African American, because that's a racial category. That's for anybody. They made it for anybody who's African descent. It's not fraud. They just proved it from Haiti, Jamaica, Nigeria. They're good. But if they click on ADOS FBA, and they get hired or they get um, some type of monies or resources, that's fraud. That's deportation. That's imprisonment. That's fine. You got to pay that back. That's accountability. So go ahead and do that if you want. You find yourself in Alcatraz. You dig? What, Gator Alcatraz? If they don't give FBA own category, the own B, they still have yeah. So we ain't worried about that. We ain't worried about that. And we'll have them reconsider. We will politic more and more and more. We be more boisterous, yeah. So the issue is they claim they're confused because they say they can't they want to make sure that it's an ethnicity and not a political group or a what's the other one? Political group or some type of organization, right? So they want to make sure FBA represents an ethnicity, which we always say that. But we got these Pan-Africans. Oh, you guys should be a political group. No, we say no, 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 no. This is an ethnonym of an ethnicity. We made that clear, loud, and strong. So there should be no reason why FBA is not on that form. Oh, they go, oh my God. Yo, y'all cats, y'all coons and tethers, y'all better be praying like hell, man. If news come out, that form says FBA, we're gonna go live. Probably 20,000 people gonna be over here. You know what I mean? Going in. Y'all better hope like hell. Okay, so sick and tired of tethers said, and that's what we need so they can be held accountable for cosplaying us, because I'm sick of the Cubs playing cosplaying. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's coming because we're loud and proud. And that's why I keep telling these cats, these coons and tethers, like, yo, why you put a shot clock on our production? Why is there no shot clock on Pan-Africanism? Why they got 200 and plus years to get something done? These guys been in existence for 200 years. And we supposed to be patient with them. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. We got to be patient with Burkina Faso and the Sahel Alliance or ECOWAS or the Caribbean. We got to be patient with CARICOM. But when it comes to FBA ADOS, 24 seconds. We got to do everything. We got to solve racism. We got to end racism. We got to resolve the conflict in the Middle East. We got to be a peacemaker between the Soviet Union and Russia and Ukraine. We got to save Iran. We got to Iran processors. We got to save the world in 24 seconds. But everybody and their mother can take forever to resolve their issues. That's how much of a threat we are. They give us a 24-second shot clock. Yo, if you don't get your reparation in 24 seconds, you ain't gonna get it. If your delineation movement doesn't be successful in 24 seconds, Like, yo, are you dumb? It took 250 years for us to get free from U.S. chattel slavery. It took 100 years to override Jim Crow. Nothing took 24 seconds. Yeah. What's wrong with you, man? Yeah, they are very slow. So let me see. Okay, so I had this video right here that I want to play. So check this out. So this came on actually today, 3 hours ago. I checked it out a little late, but I like where it was going. So this is Tariq Nasheed talking to a caller who was supposedly half FBA and half, like, think Nigerian. So I thought this was an interesting discussion. So I stopped it. I said, let me play this for the family. Let me see if I got something else. I got something else before I play that. Okay. This was an interesting conversation, and I'm gonna give my reaction.
So yeah, there's a lot of gaslighting as if we're attacking people randomly, and we're not. We're just letting people hold their own nuts and let them.
It might be I've been on the wrong panel, but truthfully, I did grow up watching your documentaries. I didn't know you was I've been hearing FBA the term a lot, and I grew up like a I still am much more Pan-Africanist. So I believe everybody should, especially if if it aligns, because whenever you're participating in any form of battle, you need allies. So I think I just was telling them that it doesn't make sense to completely shrug somebody if they're an enemy, they're an enemy. I get you. But, you shouldn't completely shrug
what has
somebody.
Pan-Africanism done for American Black people, Foundation of Black Americans? What has it done for us?
You said, what has Pan-Africanism done for Americans?
Yes, sir. Black Americans, Foundation of Black Americans. What has it done for us?
Like the belief of it?
Just give me an example.
Or in actuality of it?
No, in actuality. So I'll give you an example, right? As Foundation of Black Americans, we were able to make the apartheid movement actually matter by going to our senators and Congress people and petitioning our government to condemn the actions of the apartheid government, eventually reversing it, freeing Nelson Mandela and making him the president of South Africa. That's what Foundational Black Americans have done tangibly for people around the world. So I ask you, what has Pan-Africanism done for Foundational Black Americans?
So, like something as far as like a petition and like how to get something on that.
What tangibles have Pan-Africanism provided?
I mean, like Marcus Garvey was Pan-Africanist.
Marcus Garvey sided with the Ku Klux Klan against Foundation of Black Americans and stated repeatedly that when he got to America, he noticed two things. A, we were enterprising, and B, how intelligent we were. Meaning we were business people who were very intelligent. He wanted to extract those resources because he couldn't get it popping in Jamaica. He didn't do anything for us.
I heard this. Where do you find this at?
Read his works. He wrote letters about this.
I read his works. I read his book, A Course on African.
All right, so now he's lying. Everybody know I'm the Marcus Garvey slayer. Marcus Garvey was the biggest scammer to ever enter into FBA spaces. Okay, so they always claim they read Marcus Garvey works, but when they come on this panel, what happens? So matter of fact, let me do this. Now let this play out first. I'm gonna show you a conversation I had with a Pan-African named Rasun. I renamed him because he became my son after the discussion, but he tried to deny Marcus Garvey scams, and then I had him finally admit it later, and he justified why he lied the first time. So when we say all he do is lie, that's all they do. They just lie.
Philosophy.
He wrote letters about this to newspapers. Well, he discussed this in great detail about how he wanted to extract the resources from Foundational Black Americans to build some type of paradise over in Africa.
And take it. Are you sure he wasn't just? Are you sure he wasn't just referencing?
My question.
No, your dude was a scammer, and in fact, that is the craziest truth that you'll ever realize in America, because how Marcus Garvey is so held high in reverence, and it's unbelievable when you realize that the data shows and his action, history shows, not just data, he was a scammer, like SCAMMER, scammer. Okay, who scammed us and defrauded the government. So he disrespected J. Edgar Hoover, and he disrespected the lineage. Straight scammer. Opposite of what you thought he was. All these Pan-African leaders was bigging up Garvey. And then when I read it, I'm like, what the I'm like, yo, this can't be true. And family, I got hella debates on this channel over Marcus Garvey slaying Pan-Africans and tethers all day long. They didn't even know this dude was a scammer. Like, first they was in denial when I cooked them, and then they finally like conceded after a while because the evidence is overwhelming. Okay.
What have they done for us? That's my original question, brother. What have they done for us?
Like, as far as advocating?
I gave you a tangible example of what Foundational Black Americans have done for South Africa. What I'm asking you, Mr. Pan-Africanist, what has that ideology done to help Foundational Black Americans do anything tangible?
I mean, the whole NOI movement is...
It's not. That is not. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Did you say NOI?
No. The most.
Did you say? I know you didn't say NOI.
No.
Yes, I did.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said.
Elijah Muhammad? Okay, go ahead. Boy,
He was not.
You tell him, Dan. Tell him. You
Oh,
tell
no,
him.
you got
You
it.
break it to him.
Like, that's the wrong.
Break it to him,
The
Dan.
most
Break it to
honorable
him.
Elijah Muhammad said that he's only here for the Asiatic black man in these wilds of North America. He was speaking specifically to foundational black Americans because that's who he was. He had no interest in any other group.
Elijah Muhammad was not a Pan-Africanist in any sense of the word. He wasn't rocking with Africans at all. You better read what he said about Africans. Elijah Muhammad wasn't rocking with Africans, sir. He wasn't Pan-African in any sense of the word. Read Elijah Muhammad's work, sir.
Yeah. He over there Googling it out. Yeah, Elijah Muhammad.
He's Googling. Yeah,
he was not about that.
Googling it now because y'all making claims, so I'm gonna Google
you
them.
think
Y'all right,
Hey, family, let him save the time. I'm an ex-member of the Nation of Islam. Okay. No, they're 100% correct. And matter of fact, I pointed this out really early. Malcolm X himself pointed it out. Malcolm X himself pointed this. Family, you all can Google Malcolm X pointing out how Elijah Muhammad was hard on Africa and Africans. Y'all can Google Malcolm X saying it out his mouth. When he left the nation, he was trying to like low-key snitch, soft snitch. And he's like, yeah, Malcolm X. He said, yeah, Elijah Muhammad, he had, rough things to say about Africans. Nah, they're not lying. Elijah did not rock with no damn African, man. And you see, he knew something we didn't know way back in 1940s, 50s, and 60s. That's crazy.
You, in any sense of the word, read Elijah Muhammad's work, sir.
Yeah. He over there Googling it out. Yeah, Elijah Muhammad.
He's Googling. Yeah,
he was not about that.
Googling it now because y'all making claims, so I'm gonna Google them. Y'all right,
you think we're hard on tethers? Listen to what Elijah Muhammad would say. He was like, he don't marry him. He was on some different with. He wasn't rocking with y'all at all. You better.
Family, they were not allowed in the mosque, Africans, and he wouldn't allow none of his members to wear dashiki, a kente cloth, Kwanzaa outfit. Yeah, family, no unk, no RBG stuff. This is 100. Ask anybody who has any affiliation with the Nation of Islam. He didn't want you rocking nothing that remotely represented Africa. It's a fact.
Read Elijah Muhammad's work. He wasn't playing at all.
Elijah Muhammad was the original delineationist. He made it very clear.
Yeah, for real.
And he spoke.
I've read his works. I've read Message to the Black Man.
What did he say in the very first chapter? Who was he say he was preaching to? The Asiatic black man in America.
The Asiatic black man. I didn't say he wasn't preaching to the Asiatic black man, but he didn't say anything he had against Africans.
No, man, what? You gotta read.
Okay, all right. So, family, here's the better question: what did he say good about Africans in any of his literature? Al Saber has arrived. Fall of America. Just give me one. The True History of Jesus. Message to Black Man. Give me How He Lives, book 1 and 2. Give me the Supreme Wisdom book. Give me any book, any literature that came from Elijah Muhammad that said anything good about Africans. Give me one. That was a better question.
Take a little deep dive into what Elijah Muhammad thought. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad thought. He was not for that. He was about building up. And as a matter of fact, if you take a look at, and this is in the 30s, he was preaching this. If you look at, we have, there's foundational Black American newspapers you can check out. It's a guy on TikTok. His name's Hotep History. He has all his archive. In 1927, they were talking about, this is almost 100 years ago, they were talking about Pan-American affairs versus Pan-African affairs. And they said, in the most polite way possible, that it is better for us to focus on our American affairs so we can bring good tidings across the sea. The reason why I asked you, because you self-identified as a Pan-African, I asked you, what have they done for us? Because the homies Sulan, our Sulan brothers, Marak, Midnight, and T-Roy, they have a philosophy on it. They said Pan-Africanism is vampirism. And if you take a look at it, everything that we've done for the diaspora out there have been tangibles via donation and actually liberation. We've helped them get liberated. They have not done anything for us except extract resources. So when you look at it from that angle, it does absolutely nothing. In the last 6 or 7 years, foundational Black Americans have been primarily focused on things on the home front. And with that being done, we see work going on out in California with the Reparations Task Force. Shout out to the homie Flex and those guys out there. They spoke on that, and they got a designation put on their census form out in out in New York City. We got the U.S. Freedmen Project, Brother Divine and Sister Brooke. They're focused on getting a constitutionally sound reparations bill pushed through. That's what they're doing. This is paperwork. So now we're getting closer. In the last 5 years, right, we have gotten closer to getting tangibles on a federal level than we did in the past 60 years when we were preoccupied with the Democratic Party and the Pan-African ideology. So by the way, shout out to Sister Brooke. Y'all should have seen an email. She had a birthday the other day, y'all. So y'all shout out to Sister Brooke. But the point we're making is when we ask y'all who self-identifies Pan-Africanists, what have they done? We get the same response. Absolutely nothing at all. So I just need something.
I think a lot of their movements were sabotaged. I think that's all it was. A lot of their movements
their
were
movement
sabotaged.
in itself is a sabotagation of foundational Black American progress.
Malcolm X moved to Pan-Africanism, and he was actually going.
Okay, let me break this down to you. Malcolm X was, and this is going to come as a shock. I'll break this down. Malcolm X, right, is a very intelligent person. Malcolm X came up with this thing called Muhammad Speaks. That was the Final Call newspaper. Malcolm X understood how propaganda worked. Malcolm X was using propaganda to push foundational Black American beliefs because his next, well, I ain't gonna get too much into that because that's too far. But Malcolm X was not a Pan-Africanist. He was not. Malcolm X was for
Malcolm
justice.
X didn't come up with the Final Call, bro.
You know, so what he means is Muhammad Speaks. So Malcolm X came up with Muhammad Speaks. So the dude is now that's called semantics. If anybody want to know about semantics, that's semantics. He said Final Call because that's been like the paper for like the last 1,000 years. But Muhammad Speaks was the paper that Malcolm X came up with. Minister Louis Farrakhan came up with Final Call. Yeah, I know this history.
He did what?
Malcolm X did not come up with the Final Call.
Okay, who did?
Elijah Muhammad did.
Sure about that?
He's wrong. Final Call is Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and Muhammad Speaks was Malcolm X. Elijah Muhammad didn't come up with any of them, so he's wrong. He's just a dumb tether. Okay, and he says it like he's sure, like he knows it. No humility for these tethers, man. I be beating revenue down. Him and Jamaican Tether back and forth. They'll call in and act like that never happened. Like these guys been getting destroyed for a whole year. And so that's why I started to make little clips of all of my discussions with revenue where I cook the hell out of them. I'm making little clips. So when he call in and act like he forgot, I just play the clip. Boop. 5-minute clip, 10-minute clip, 30, 15-minute clip. Remember this conversation? But he can't do that with me. I dare anybody to clip something up and show me where I took an L in one of these conversations. I got all of y'all.
I'm 100% positive, bro. And I just double checked it. I didn't want to misspeak on you, but that's not correct.
Malcolm X came up with Muhammad Speaks. That was Malcolm X did. He did that to combat the lies.
The final. I know that was already established. That was my brother. He didn't come up with the Final Call.
Oh my God! Did you read his book?
Okay, so he keeps saying Final Call. So now he's going back and forth like an idiot. So Dan just corrected him and said Muhammad Speaks, right? He corrected himself. He corrected him. This idiot said Final Call. Of course not. Malcolm X was assassinated and Elijah Muhammad had already passed when the Final Call came out. All right. Because the Nation of Islam fell as an organization. Once Elijah Muhammad died, passed away, it fell. His son Wardin tried to uplift it, but he brought them to Bilalian Islam, right? More orthodox Sunni Islam, but a Bilalian, like a Black American spin on it. It was Black American based, right? Islam, where they had with the high water pants. I think when you guys see the Muslim with the high water pants, that is Elijah Muhammad's son version of Islam. It's a Black American vibe on it. I call it the FBA glow. It's a Foundation Black American glow on that one. Okay. But when he took over, he went away from Elijah Muhammad version of Islam. Okay. And the son did his own thing. So when Minister Louis Farrakhan came back into the scene, he took it over. Well, it's like a fight for like, authority, whatever. And he was more successful. He got the people to follow to him, and he brought back the paper, but he can't bring back Muhammad Speaks. That's Malcolm X's. So he brought back. So he started his own thing called The Final Call. This is simple history.
Autobiography? No, I haven't read his autobiography.
If you read his book, it's plain as day he came up with the newspaper to combat the lies told about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It was called Muhammad
maybe
Speaks.
you're talking about a different newspaper, but you're not talking about the Final Call. The Final Call.
Okay, he keeps saying Final Call. You see him, right, family? And Dan keeps saying Muhammad Speaks. Okay, Final Call is Miss Louis Farrakhan, and Muhammad Speaks is Malcolm X.
Sorry, yeah, maybe you're talking about something that he came up deliberately to stop disparaging Elijah Muhammad, but he's not the Final Call newspaper.
I mean, these words are Malcolm also. He came up with it. That's what he said about it.
That's
the Final Call?
Dummy, Muhammad Speaks.
If you check the what's name, they all tell you in the comment they didn't have a newspaper till Malcolm came up with it. But okay.
You see, he keeps saying Final Call. This is an idiot. Okay, and I'll be wishing like hell they call over here.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you. That's what you believe.
Yeah. And by the way, the link is pinned to the top. Anybody feeling froggy?
Yeah, but I think Malcolm was gonna go to, because he was about to go to the United Nations, and he was gonna file hate crimes against America. That was what happened right before he passed. But a lot of times their movements just get sabotaged. I feel like it was more of a sabotization of it. That's when something that Marcus Garvey highlighted in his book too. It's just more of a sabotization of the Pan-Africanists than anything. I get, like, I'm not saying it should be a complete transferable, like, oh, so they can come over here and get all the benefits. I get 100% understand that. That makes perfect sense. Because if they didn't, that's what happened with civil rights. I 100% get that. They should not get all the benefits of what FBAs or Foundation of Black Americans got, because they didn't go through all that stuff. But I just think, just to say, oh, well, we're not going to talk to them at all just because everybody had their own issues. Everybody was getting their independence around the same time. South Africa, West Africa, it was all getting their independence around the same time.
Whoa,
and they all have different. Go ahead.
Why do y'all equate us delineating with we ain't talking to y'all and we hate you? Where does that equivalence come from? Because
when I brought up Pan-Africanists, you said, what has Pan-Africanism done? That's where I guess that's where I got. That's why I was talking about the allies. It's not going to be one thing Minister Neri talks about is it doesn't have to be uniformity. It just needs unity.
Hey, I want to shout out Laura's Child. Thank you for the lineage love, the super chat, $4.99. Thank you, brother. He respects and honors the sacrifice y'all brother make and dig. And y'all gotta admit, man, when y'all come here, you dig, we learn. We learn new things. We might learn old things, but over here we learn. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not winging it. I'm not Googling for the first time. I can explain it. I can simplify it where everybody understands it. All right. So I felt like this was a good little dialogue, and that's why I was trying to like link up with Tariq Nasheed on TikTok. So you see how Dan was taking care of him? Like, that's when I could chime in and say, no, bro. All right, listen, man. I've been a Nation Islam member. I'm former now, but I was in the ranks. You dig? Been to Chicago, Mosque Mariam. Pictures, I got pictures, I did all that. You dig? And by the way, I had cornrows. You know the Nation Islam, you gotta cut your hair, right? I was so thorough. Yeah, your boy was selling final calls with cornrows. You dig? Yeah, I was not cutting my hair. Like, I'm a quitting. But like, they thought I was valuable. They knew I was a great researcher and things like that. So they let a brother slide. And yeah, man, they looked at me funny, different mosques. But the bottom line is that I would have took over and like, hey, stop lying. Muhammad Speaks is Malcolm X. The final call is Honorable Louis Farrakhan. You're a liar. You're lying, stinking tether. Musty too.
Unity. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to all be from the same.
That sounds good until you need something.
Right.
Well, you talking about like what? Give me an example.
Something right. I'll give you an example. Right. If you go to a spelling bee right now in the 3rd grade, and the Haitian kids win it, he's gonna stand up and thank Haiti for winning that spelling bee. That same attitude is distributed when a person from Nigeria who actually goes to medical school and get their doctorate degree, they're gonna think.
Yeah. So a person like Troy. You know what? Let's time Troy off let me get him. Let me time off for 24 hours. Hey, Troy, I'm gonna see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock, my guy. All right, but you're still allowed to click the link. So, family, when somebody say you're not getting reparations, like that's the same as somebody applying for a job. Like anybody can say you're not gonna get hired. Like anybody can say anything. You dig? And everything is a process. So look, FBA niggas, you didn't get reparations Saturday night, January 31st, and you didn't get it February 1st, Sunday, okay, whatever. Like anybody can say that, so like that's not even nothing to debate. It's like, okay. I mean, I could like the Iranians said America ain't gonna attack them, right? Anybody can say what they want to say. Like they saying America is woofing. The Iranians saying America ain't gonna do nothing. They saying they ain't gonna slide, and they might not. Well, we'll find out shortly. So yeah, so anybody can just say something because they got a mouth, but time them out 24 hours. I'll see you 10 o'clock tomorrow, buddy.
Nigeria for that, despite all the work foundational Black Americans put in. Now, I'm not saying that they're wrong for that. When they do that, that is a form of delineation. They're saying, hey, I am from this place. Delineation is just saying, hey, you from there, we from here. Now, more importantly, that's social issues. To me, that doesn't matter as much. My issue, and I think everybody would sense issue, is when we start looking at this politically. You got people like Byron Donalds. He is Jamaican and Panamanian. Now, he delineates all the time.
Not to pause it again, family, but we are down 30 likes. So those 30 people, you ain't like that video. Go ahead and like this video, this live video. You know what I mean? Just a little like there. Little like. Put a little like there.
He says, and I quote, right, that he is not a foundational Black American. He does not believe in reparations because his mom wouldn't get it. All right. Now, he has a vote when it comes to that bill being passed. Yeah. If he votes against it, because each party will spend millions of dollars on that seat. So if he's saying he's voting based on what his mom and his people get, he can't speak for us. Even right now, I agree. And this is why I don't need support, because even right now in Florida, he's in a governor race. Right now, he is trying to use foundational Black American history to attack another candidate, the guy Fishback out of Florida. And the Fishback guy.
And he said Fishback, right? So that gave me a moment to tell you about this. So for you guys who are new here, you don't know this, but this is some stuff I've been reading about. I studied the history of immigration in this country. Okay, so he said Fishback. I want to show you something. So there's Mexicans will tell you better than anybody. There is a noun derogatory term called wetback, right? Wetback is a derogatory term that you call a Mexican, it's like almost equivalent to the N-word for us and anti-Semitic words for Jewish people. But let me show you guys the origins of wetback, because it didn't start off as a derogatory term. Like the N-word started off as a derogatory term, right? It didn't turn derogatory. So let me go ahead and introduce you to where that came from. Wetback. So this is my research on the history of immigration. You see, immigration. This is what I study. So I be cooking tethers and Pan-Africans when they come over here. My level, man. Okay. So let me show you guys. Okay, so now we're getting to Mexican, right? Here we are. Okay, so let's go into wetback. Okay, so that was the Jewish people over there. Now this is dealing with the Bracero program. This is all Mexicano. Okay. Let me go here. Move out my way. I want to show you something. I don't even know if they know this. Here we go. Operation Wetback. Let's start here. The federal government also responded to these inflows with two additional interrelated actions. The first was a legal reform and expansion of the Bracero guest worker visa program in 1951. The second was Operation Wetback, In 1954, an ill-conceived immigration enforcement operation that removed almost 1 million illegal Mexican immigrants. Between 1953 and 1954, the federal government removed or returned more than 2 million illegal immigrants. Check this out. It is important to note that the government legalized many of those apprehended in Operation Wetback and gave them Bracero work visas as an extension of the 1947-1949 legislation program. The government derogatorily referred to this legalization process as drying out. Because remember, they're called wetbacks, they're wet. So when he made them legal, he said they were drying them out. This government shot out.
I spoke to the foundational Black Americans down there in Florida, and they reminded him that Byron Donalds has no slave ancestry. Well, if he doesn't have any slave ancestry, why is he offended by the word slave when it was used in the correct context? So anytime they get a chance to leech on to our accomplishments, they will do it. Even past that, Byron Donalds, right now, he's from New York City. He lives in Florida. He's introducing a bill in Washington, D.C., right? A bill in Washington, D.C. that will bring harsher punishments to the Black youth, the youth there, which is primarily Black. And although I don't agree with 80% of the stuff that comes out of Jasmine Crockett's mouth, she was right about this. She said that she thought it was wild that Byron Donalds, who went to jail for selling weed and trying to bribe a cop, who got all of that kind of expunged and was able to go to college with a second chance, is now trying to take that same second chance away from Black people in D.C., a community he's not from or lives. I find that strange. But then you look at it, why he's willing to do this, because his Republican colleagues look at him as, well, you know, he is similar to the foundational Black Americans, so it doesn't look bad if he introduces this bill. And they're trying to use that under the guise of his complexion to do that.
I'm getting it now. So essentially, and I think I get it now. Y'all have no problem with Africans per se. Y'all have an issue with people from any different place of country trying to come here and latch onto our issues as if they were a part of it.
Yes, we have a problem with anybody. Listen, case in point, we have our own Sambos. We have people who are from the lineage who absolutely hate the progress foundational Black Americans have. We call them Oons and Sambos, and we got all our names for those people, right? We got those people that we don't like. Then we have people like Byron Donalds, who is from, Jamaica, Panamanian. We got people who are from Africa, like the Ilene Omar. She's from Somalia. Now, she has never been Black until this situation popped off. And all of a sudden, she's a proud Black woman and Trump hates Black women. Like, this is the type of stuff that they do. And then we remind them, hey, you guys didn't do anything for the community. You guys didn't do anything for the Black people there in Minneapolis. You guys shut the Black community out. As a matter of fact, you made it a point to say, you're not Black, you're Somalian. And all we're saying now is, we agree with you. We don't start these conversations.
But not only do we agree with them, you can't be Black. Definitely not in the sense that we're Black. When we say we're Black, we're not talking about a race. That's our ethnonym. That's our lineage. So if you are Black, you are still not Black like us. And we know you're not Black. You're Black here. You're only Black in America, conveniently. We're Black everywhere we go. We take ourselves, when Tariq Nasheed and I Show Speed went to Africa, they were Black Americans in Africa. They didn't become Nigerians all of a sudden. They didn't become Igbo tribe members, Hausas, Tutsis, Hutus. They didn't become Fulani. They were Black Americans over there. When we go to Brazil, we're Black Americans. When we go to the Caribbean, Jamaica, all these fancy islands, we go to London, Europe, Russia, Japan, North Korea, we're Black American wherever we go. We stand on business wherever we go. They change their identity when they go to other nations. They try to do a Jenny Jones makeover and become something else. And we're not allowing that over here. You're not going to tether on to Blackness. You're going to stay what you were the whole time in your homeland. You're that over here. And that's why we got those disaggregating forms to specify which homeland you come from. You're no longer going to sit and check the box that just say Black African American. No, you're going to highlight your homeland.
They started this. As you know, Black people embrace Pan-Africanism. Black people put Pan-Africanism on the map.
I think what you're saying is 100% valid.
So we're not here to degrade anybody. Like I said,
you're not knocking nobody else. Y'all just standing up for yourselves.
Okay, so somebody from the chat said, Where's the Cash App? Let me tell you that right now. The Cash App is actually on the screen right here. Wait, let me get a better indicator than that. That's sloppy. The Cash App is actually right here. That's the Cash App. The Cash App is Unbiased Ron. Thank you very much. Let me point to the Cash App right there. $ Unbiased Ron. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I love when my education, my experience, my effort on behalf of the lineage is being valued. You dig?
Just fair.
Well,
So it's not like
when you talk to people who actually read books like myself and Flex, then you're gonna get these type of conversations. Now, if you go into a place where they're yelling at Africans, you can get what you can get. And if you say
we got Stephanie Ross in the building, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome. So what's going on? What's in your mind tonight? Lovely Saturday night.
I'm just listening and you're telling the truth. So I'm just, I just wanted to check in and just say, yes, it is the truth. Wherever we go, we're Black.
Right.
We don't have a way to change ourselves. And I've been to a lot of countries. I was in the military, in the Navy, traveled all over, in the 19 years. But yes, we're Black everywhere.
Right. Yep. And guess what? We are, like James Brown said, when we go places, we are proud. Like, we are overly proud to say we're Black. Hey, where you from? When they even try to imply we're from somewhere else, we're like, no, I'm Black American. Yeah,
Yes.
let's get that straight, because so much of glorious history is tied to us. Again, when white America was starving, via Great Depression, when they were starving, we were millionaires. Like, people got to understand that. So that's why when tethers come in our spaces and be talking slick, like, are you dumb? Yeah, in the greatest nation in the world, right? When these people were starving in soup kitchens, damn, they're eating each other. They eating their version of bushmeat in this country, right? We're over here millionaires with no assistance. The only way white people got out of their wretched condition, the only way. See, now I gotta do this. Now I gotta do this, family. I gotta go to the HOLC. The only way white folks got out of their wretched condition, the government came through and gave them a bailout, gave them welfare. Again, I studied the history of immigration in this country. White people were the first people welfare was offered to. So when we make the argument that it's more white folks than welfare, they'll say, yeah, but per capita. We'll say, okay, well, how about historically? How about welfare is a new program for us? That's new to us. You guys been getting welfare for over 100 years. Welfare for us was 1970s. Even with welfare, we were like being excluded and denied, because welfare came under the acronym ADC, Aid to Child Dependent. Then it was FDC, Aid to Family Dependent Child, something like that, Aid to Child to Family Dependent. But they added the family there, where it took care of the family. Matter of fact, hey, Stephanie, do you know that we are the only people in this country where welfare actually disqualified the man from being part of, like, with the man, the program wasn't like, you'll be rejected, you were excluded. We're the only people. Before us, white folks, the man could be in the house. And right now, every immigrant on welfare, they have an intact family. The man don't have to leave. He didn't have to leave for white people. He don't got to leave for no immigrant, African or Hispanic or white. They're allowed to keep their family intact as they take advantage of welfare. We were the only people where they had the man in the house act for us, the man in the house rule. Just us.
But that's still in place, even if the person is with a person of another race, the man still has to leave.
Only if you're Black American.
If you're Black American, correct.
Yeah, right now, I worked at property management. I know, okay? Everybody got to submit. I worked in compliance, so I know everybody business, right? Yes, families were intact. They were intact. Husband, wife, welfare, all under one roof. Okay, benefit from low income housing. So it was just us. Y'all could Google that. The man the house rule was just for Black Americans. That was not for Hispanics, Jamaicans, and white, immigrants, Chinese, for Black Americans. All right. So let me just go here since we're already here. So this is something that you guys might not be aware of. When I say welfare, I really mean welfare. Now it came under, different forms and different names, but it was, make no mistake, it was government assistance. It was given to white people, and it wasn't owed to them. They didn't earn it. They didn't do anything for it. It was a free gift to get them out their wretched condition. Okay. So the HOLC was the homeowners loan corporation. And that was the beginning of redlining. So what that did was, before that even happened, that's 1933. Before that happened, there was something called racial zoning laws, where Black Americans were not allowed to leave and move out of their communities, even though we were wealthy. We were not. You could be Biddy Mason. She was wealthy. You could be Maggie Delaney Walker, Madam C.J. Walker, anybody with significant wealth. You were not allowed to leave from the poor. So like you couldn't stretch out and expand your living and your lifestyle. You had to live amongst the poorest person and family. That is called overcrowding. Now, the problem with overcrowding is that when it's too many people in one home, in one area, one city, of course, litter. Of course, the building is going to be worn down. So now what they would do, Stephanie, white supremacy, they would make sure we can't leave our areas because of the racial zoning laws. And obviously we're too many of us in the area. It's going to be litter. And the building's going to naturally just be wear and tear. They would come by with their media and say, look how they living. And they would do that to us. They'll make sure we can't leave, knowing that overcrowding will lead to, buildings being worn down and littering, just like trash. They would come write stories about how disgusting we were. Yeah, these people, man, are something else. So that was struck down in 1917, and what replaced it was restrictive covenants. Restrictive covenants, where when white people bought homes, now, by the way, they bought homes because of, let's just start here. They bought homes, and in the condition of buying a home, they could not sell. It was in the contract buying a home. They could not sell to a black person. So, and even if they did try to low key sell to a black person, that sale could be reversed. If it was found out that a black person owned that home, they could take it to court and reverse it, and take that home back. So the HOLC was the first time redlining happened. So that's where the red lines come from. They drew lines on a map, and they said, don't make sure these people don't leave, don't give them loans, don't give them. That's what the homeowners loan corporation is about. Is about, hey, don't give them loans. Everybody in this city right here, these addresses, because remember, we can't leave. So it was like clear where we lived at. Anybody from this city, don't give them any loans. And then following that was the FHA. Okay. And that was the actual loan that they gave to these white Americans who were broke as hell. This is 1934. This is 5 years after the Great Depression. They were starving, broke, and jobless, unemployed while we were living fat and rich. We built an airport called the Robbins Airport in 1933, I think in Missouri. So while they're starving, eating each other, we're building airports, going to Ethiopia, helping them defeat the Italians. That's what we're doing. And these tethers got the nerve to compare themselves with us. So that 1934 FHA, that loan for homes, it was backed by the government. So like those loans, banks, whatever, they wouldn't say no because the government say we'll back it. If they can't pay, we got it. So it was like foolproof. So all these white folks had, they was approved regardless of their credit, regardless of their employment history. They were approved. And this FHA of 1934, this led to the current suburban today. The white suburban today is owed to the FHA. Like that's how powerful and how strong that was. Like those loans were for them. Because home ownership is that's how you build generational wealth. It starts with home ownership. So they made sure white Americans be homeowners, basically, and made sure we were not homeowners. So like these are like this is how far they would go to cripple Foundation Black Americans. Tell you, man, these some wild people.
Anything that they don't understand, they're gonna assume you're African and start screaming at you. It just is what it is.
Yeah, because I was like, because they be like, where you from? I was like, my father's from Ghana. I don't even tell them my mom's from Philly, and I actually got families of Black Panthers and FO. Yeah, I got families from all that. I don't even say it. I just say my father's from Ghana to see how they go.
Hold on. We gotta ask which Black Panthers. We've seen some other ones recently.
Right.
Which Black Panther? You ain't talking about that bird song, clown, are you?
Oh yeah, I kept forgetting to show that video. Hold on. Yeah, let me show you this video of the bird song guy. Like, first of all, your name Bird Song. Like, come on. Like, at least change your name, dude. Like, they should be called the Bird Song Panthers. All right, hold on. Let me do that real fast. Black Panthers. This was embarrassing. They shouldn't even made a video on this. This was embarrassing. For him to come out and do this like it was a flex. Yeah, we're gonna name ourselves the Pelicans, the Puerto Rican Pelicans. Yeah, we are no longer the Black Panthers. We are the Puerto Rican Pelicans. Hold on. Let me try to see a video. Okay, I got a video. This was so humiliating, so embarrassing. I would have never went out like this.
All power to the people. As everyone knows, I'm Paul Birdsong. I got a message from Aaron Dixon today saying that he no longer supports us. That after he gave me orders to make a video saying that him and other members were coming, that he withdrew his support. And that he said that this situation is unimportant to him, even though my comrades have risked their lives and spent thousands of hours of their time and dollars and life standing behind a cause, you know. He said he's gonna—
What cause? To save illegals? Hey, family, he's not even saying we're protecting legal immigrants from discrimination, racial profiling. He's not saying they're protecting legal immigrants. He's saying his version of Black Panthers, they're out here to protect illegal immigrants who pretty much are responsible for a lot of crime. You dig? And they can't get in trouble because they're not legal. Can't even find them.
to make a statement saying no one has the right to call himself a Black Panther going forward. I told him to make sure that he put in that statement that he did in fact give us the right to call ourselves that, because I still have the messages where he did, just in case he doesn't. And I put in there also, make sure that you put in there that Emory Douglas did give us the right to wear that emblem, because I still have the messages where that happened too. But as it stands—
Yeah, they probably did give you that, but until you said safe light, what do you say? Safe light repairs, safe light replace. When you made that dumbass jingle, they was like, oh hell no. Yo, take that from him. Take that from him. He don't know what he doing. Yo, come on, dude. That's not how we talk. We be like, I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. We talk like that. We don't be saying those safe light repair, safe light replace. Yeah, he was like, oh hell no. Somebody take those badges from him. Take those patches from him.
because of that, because of me and my comrades risking our lives and all the heat that we went under, because of the counter-revolutionary practices, because we don't believe in Black nationalism, like Bobby Seale said in the video that I shared on my page earlier, that Black nationalism is acquiesce to racism, and that we don't stand like that we're internationalists and intercommunalists, just like Huey Newton said. We will no longer identify with this flag. We will no longer—
Yeah, but when did anybody say they're defending illegals? And last time I checked, the Black Panthers was in Black cities. What are you talking about? They were not in the Bronx. Yo, what's them fake Panthers or Puerto Ricans? The Angels, the New York Angels, whatever. Yeah, what they call family? The Angels. I forgot what they call. They call something the Angels. That's your Black Panthers, my guy. You're in the wrong organization. Charlie's Angels. Yo, what are they called in New York? Somebody tell me.
Longer identify ourselves as the Black Panther
Hell's
Party for
Angels.
self-defense. We're going to take OG from the town's advice. We're going to take the name that he decided to put out there. We're going to call ourselves the Black Lion Party for International Solidarity.
Black
The
Lion.
reason for the international solidarity is because we will stand with the immigrants. We will stand with the people being terrorized for ICE. We will stand with any oppressed people across the world. We will keep feeding every single day.
Hey, bro, being told that you overstayed your visas, being told that your asylum scam has caught up with you and you got to go, that's not terrorizing. Some of those people came over here as evacuees. You know what that means? That means that their country had an earthquake or tornado or typhoon, something like that, and they sought refuge until their homeland built back up. Once the homeland built back up, you got to go back. That's what happened. That's what happens with evacuees. That's what happened with Haiti and the earthquake. You got to go back. You know, and asylee is somebody who's pretending that their life is at risk for some politicalness, and it's like unconfirmed. See, a refugee is confirmed. So America have always taken. Well, there's some history there, but they normally take refugees. They did the Jews dirty during leading up to World War II, but America normally takes in refugees. Okay, and the Jews were refugees, like they were under threat, duress, and violence under Hitler. They were confirmed refugees, and America denied them. But other folks coming from their homelands, they're not refugees. Like their countries are just violent. You dig? So like they're just a product of their environment, product of violence. You weren't targeted. You just happened to be there when they was doing some bullshit. So a lot of their asylee is your status that's under investigation until our government determine if you really were a refugee or not. So once we determine you're not a refugee, you got to go back. But what these scumbags would do, they will leave anchor babies here. So it's a scam. They will apply for asylee, knowing that it'll be found out that they're not refugees. They'll be rejected, got to go back, and then they'll leave anchor babies here. Whole scam.
They keep offering food every single day. We will keep patrolling the community with guns. We will keep stopping drug dealers, keep stopping sex traffickers. We will keep stopping police brutality. This little plaque that I got, it says Paul.
Oh, the Guardian Angels. Yeah, what I say, Charlie's Angels. Yeah, the Guardian Angels. Yeah, bro, you're in the wrong group. You're supposed to join the Guardian Angels, not the Black Panthers, my guy. So old boy's like, yo, just join the Charlie Angels, the Guardian Angels. Get up out of here, man. Take those patches off.
Bird song, and as a Panther says, since 2020, I don't regret the work that I've done because it's brought me to this point.
Yeah. So Iceman, you're right. So the others overstay their work visas, others overstay their refugee status, even that has a limitation on it. Their sponsorships, right? They're being sponsored. Their student visas, you know, it expire. They got to re-up, and they could always apply for, you know, citizenship, but they don't. They hide in these sanctuary cities, and that's the people he want to protect: liars and thieves. And no, man, stop. When you got real people out here that are foundation Black Americans who are really being oppressed and attacked for no reason, like Sandra, Massey was her name? The cop got 20 years. Stuff like that. That needs protection. Not an illegal person who's supposed to go back home.
These Panther patches will no longer be on my uniforms. Me and my comrades stand independent. We're willing to work with any organization that stands for the rights of every living person. Any organization that stands against imperialism attacking immigrants.
Oh, here goes imperialism talk. Family, we live in America. We live in the United States of America. There's no imperialism over here. There's no colonizer. These are all talking points from immigrants. Family, we have white supremacy, all right? We got systemic racism. We don't have imperialism. We don't have colonizers. We don't have, what's the other one? Neo-colonialism. We don't have that over here. We just got white supremacy and systemic racism, man.
Now, if you're out here raping people and killing people and selling drugs and different stuff like that, yeah, deport them. But those people out there that are just working hard, trying to provide for their families, trying to escape.
Working hard? You mean working low wage jobs, undermining the labor laws, the minimum wage? Stop. Don't make me go there, family. Don't make me go to that. Matter of fact, we're gonna go
The
there.
guerrilla warfare and the cartel warfare that's happening in their countries to come for that promise of the American dream.
No. They gotta do it the right way. I just said that. If that's happening for real, then they apply for refugee status where they can go for asylum as well, but you do it the right way. You don't sneak over here. Sneaking over here implies that you're just fleeing. Ain't nothing wrong with your ass. You just lazy as shit. Okay, that's all. When you flee, you're just lazy. No, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. The link is up there. Anybody want to talk about this? The link is there.
The United States of America Incorporated lies about, we feel that they shouldn't be bothered, and we're willing to stand beside them to ensure that they're not. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
Oh, January 31st, you can still come out. You know, we're willing to sit down and talk about solidarity, sit down to talk about unification, sit down to talk about continuing to work, because ain't nothing stopping this way. All power to the people.
That's all Black Panther. Do the Black Lion stuff. Okay, the Black Lion don't do that.
Sit down to talk about continuing to work, because ain't nothing stopping this way. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
Now, would it be crazy if I said that COINTELPRO striked again?
Okay, so that right there was a nothing burger. For sisters looking for the cash apps right there. Anybody that appreciates the work and feel like, they want to put a monetary value to the work, go ahead. There's no pressure. You liking the videos is good enough, but this is for those who can. You dig? And a super chat feature definitely works. All right, so now I'm looking for something. Hey, family, y'all ever notice? Okay, so let me do this. Okay, family. I came up with this. I said, look, first, let's read the definition. I'm going to really show you guys something. Again, that's why I'm different. My channel is different than most channels. We learn a lot over here. And I give you some thoughts, some food for thought. Let's first look at the definition of gentrification. Gentrification is wait, hold on. Let me clean up this little stuff. Okay, so gentrification is the process where wealthier, higher income people move into historically disinvested, lower income urban neighborhoods, causing rising rents and property values, which often displaces existing, less affluent residents and charges the area's cultural character through reinvestment and new construction. Family, gentrification is the process where wealthier, higher income people move into historically disinvested, lower income urban neighborhoods. Higher income, wealthier people. Family, y'all ain't never think, how the hell is immigrants, legal and illegal, how the hell are illegal and legal immigrants that are coming from countries that sell fruits, how are they coming to our cities, gentrifying us when they make less? The definition says you're gentrified when wealthier, higher income people come into your neighborhoods. How the hell are poor, working hard immigrants looking for work gentrifying Black Americans who's already working, own homes, renting homes, in schools? How is that possible? They're not higher income people. They're not wealthier than us. They make less when they come here. They're on welfare. See, this is the stuff I think about. So when I told those dusty Pan-Africans, I'm different. They're not on my level. I'm showing it. These are the things I look at. Like, how the hell is a goddamn Hispanic who makes $2 an hour, a whole bunch of them, gentrifying us? We got to make that make sense. So I'm going to attempt to make that make sense. All right, if you don't mind. First of all, we got to call in. We got Keep It Tetchy in the building. What's up, Keep It Tetchy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, great, great.
Yeah, so I just had a question, and it's
sure.
Well, I don't want to take you away from what you're talking about if you want to continue talking, because it's a separate question, dealing with kind of the kind of like the full, I guess, the standard definition of what FBA actually is, because I keep hearing different things. Like, I went to another channel not that long ago, and
what channel was it?
Crap, I don't remember the name of it.
All right, so wait, hold on. Before you answer that, let me give a super chat some acknowledgement. So Iconic FBA, $1.99 super chat, the lineage level and fleet. Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead. Keep it teachy. Go ahead.
Okay, so they
what
were
they
saying
said was
they were basically using a tribe as a qualifier for FBA, meaning a indigenous tribe, and I had never heard that before.
Okay. So
Now, is that a identifier? Because I thought it was all about slavery.
Yeah. All right. So let me give you. Would you rather me give you an answer? Or would you rather have it from Tariq Nasheed mouth?
It doesn't matter. I mean, you can give it to me, because it looks like you saying the exact same thing, Tariq. That's why I figured I'd come up and ask you.
Yeah. So I want to give it from Tariq mouth, so nobody could say I'm making something, because you know what happens. What happens is that because he came up with the term, right? It wasn't me.
Yeah.
And he defined it, not me. So now I can give you what I know it is, but how would you know? Because you just said you come from different channels and they got different definitions. So if I give you what I know it to be, you don't know that, and you could just look at it as another definition. So let me just give you what Tariq says, and then I'm gonna come back behind him.
Okay.
Okay. So hold on. Let me speed it up. Okay, so right over here.
Invited you, hop on if you got a question.
The people that's mostly all the people that's over here.
Yeah. Foundational Black American, just a Black American whose lineage goes to the beginning of this country. That's all the foundational Black American is. It is nothing else. There's nothing else classified as a foundational Black American. It's only people whose lineage goes to the founding of this country. That's it. And you've met them before.
So when you say founding of the country, you mean founding of the United States, or founding of, like, just in general North America at the time?
The United States. We're talking about the United States.
Okay, so from the time United States was formed, the people that was here until now, basically.
Right. If you were here during the formation of the United States, that would be in the 1700s, 1800s. If you were here as a Black person, no matter how they came, when the formation of the United States was happening, and you were Black, you were part of the ethnogenesis. We became a whole new ethnic group during that formation. So that's what the argument is. Some people try to get into well, who are the Native Americans? Are you really Cherokee? That's a bullshit argument. I don't even get into. That ain't got nothing. That the ethnogenesis is what we're talking about. We're talking about the ethnogenesis where you became Black. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it makes sense, because there's a lot of people that claim, like you said, you don't get into it, but that claim Native American, that I feel like got absorbed by the FBA people, and it's like it's a little weird, because it's making the FBA how do I put it? It's two different views, but they come together to make one. So it makes it look.
I don't know what this is not about views. This is not about an ideology. So somebody misinterpreting history, that has nothing to do with the fact that foundational Black American is a lineage that's documented. All right. Even if a handful of foundational Black Americans told you, well, I think we were the first Native Americans, or I feel like I'm a Native American, now whatever. Our lineage is still our lineage. All right. None of that stuff. Nobody's ideology deletes plantation archives, Freedmen Bureau records, the 1700 census pages. None of that stuff gets deleted. Our paperwork is still there. Our lineage is still there. All right. No matter what your ideology is, no matter what your views are, that's irrelevant. See, people try to get into these ideological arguments. If your lineage can be traced to the beginning of this country, you are by definition foundational. That's it. That's it. No matter what you can pretend you from Mars or whatever, but if your paperwork can trace back to a certain place, which is America, and you are Black and your ancestors were Black, that makes you foundational. It's that simple, right?
Yeah, the way, I don't know why they have never explained it to me this simple, bro.
Yeah.
There you go, bro. See,
Okay.
even he said that simple.
Yeah, and I'm glad you played that clip, and I'm gonna drop a super chat as well in the chat, bro. I appreciate you doing this because I didn't know, I had never heard this clip before. And they were taking me down a whole road like, oh well, you as a Black person, you should know what, like you should know what tribe you from, and they started asking other people like, I'm Blackfoot and I'm this, and I'm like, what is, bro? Not everybody knows anything about American Indians in their lineage like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was a whole back and forth argument. And I apologize. Let me let you get back to your whole thing, bro. But thank you for playing this. I'm gonna drop a super chat. I appreciate it, man. That clears it up for me and everything. And do you have a link to that clip, or is that
that's a compilation? Because like what I am is I'm a very good researcher, so I watch a lot of stuff, and I got a good memory. So when I could watch a video from Tariq like today, January 31st, then I could watch something, let's say August 22nd. I could remember, oh, wait a minute, I heard that before, and I do that a lot. So I bust them all together.
Okay.
So you get that over. So, but anyway, I am going to upload it by itself. I am going to do that tonight. So if you just subscribe, you're going to see the ethnogenesis uploaded by itself here, and I'm going to put it on TikTok because people are confused, and I love how you just summed it up.
Yeah, he summed it up perfect, bro. Let me hop down. I appreciate it, man. I'm just listening and enjoying the show, bro. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so yeah, I don't mind that. But so getting back to where we were, how is it possible that immigrants who just got here, who ain't working, they come right on welfare, legal and illegal ones, they come right to welfare? How is it possible that they can displace us? How is it possible that they can gentrify us when the definition of gentrification says they are typically wealthier and higher income people? I'm going to put a poll in the chat. What would the poll say? Dang, I don't even know what what would the poll say? Hey, family, let me ask you guys, how is that possible? No poll. I'm just ask you guys. Can somebody put the answer in the chat? How is it possible when the definition of gentrification are people who are less monetarily blessed than you? Well, I'm sorry, the people who are more financially blessed than you can displace you. How is it possible people who are less financially blessed than you can displace you, can come to your neighborhoods, take over, raise the rent, and they make less than you? They barely work. They're taking the odd jobs. They're Uber drivers. Like, no disrespect, but I'm just saying, because I know some Uber drivers, I met some, I got rides by some who do what they do. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying when they come over here, Like, what license they get? They can't read English. But the Uber drivers illegally, I suppose. Also, they're dishwashers. You take it like they're taking the low end jobs, especially the illegal ones. They don't have a birth certificate. They don't have a sponsorship. They can't get a job legally. So, and there's a lot of illegals. Like there's a million illegals just in New York, over a million in New York. You feel me? There's a million in New Jersey. So how is it possible that and these are the illegals doing better than us? How is that possible when the definition says it's impossible? Yes, sir. Keep it touchy. Thanks for the super chats. Lane's love in the building. I appreciate it. Family, we need some answers. Peace, family. Power B. Peace to you. We need some answers. How is that possible? So this is something you got to ask people. So when I finally link up with Tariq Nasheed, these are the questions I'm gonna ask him, and this is what I'm gonna put before the family. This is stuff I think about. You dig? I consider myself a YouTube journalist. I take it seriously. As you can see, I'm a great researcher. Sister Ursa brought up what? She brought up 3/5 on the fly. I already knew what that about. Nope, that's 3/5 compromise. That's not human beings. I explained it. I talked about phantom because I took it further. I broke down codes. No, codes are just city. That's city stuff. That's not state. That's not government, federal government. You feel me? And so when you say government, you got to qualify what government. There's 50 states. Every state has a government. So you got to say federal government or national government. That separates that government from a state government. So every time when I say government, I will qualify it with federal government, or sometimes I will say national government. But yeah, cities do ordinances and codes. States do laws, and the federal or national government does laws. So I'm trying to explain Ursa. No, codes, what you mean they're not lawful? They're supposed to be. Laws hold more weight than codes and ordinances. On the fly, you dig? We know this stuff. But let's get some answers to how is it possible that these Hispanics that makes less than us can gentrify us when that's a contradiction to the definition. Yep, $600 of rent, $600 a month. And you know what's funny? My city is like getting gentrified like crazy, and these homes that were owned by Black people. Now also, family, this also sometimes happen too. They don't like the owner of homes. They never sell them to us. There's never like rent to own. It's just rent, 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 rent. And when they get the illegals over here and legal immigrants over here, I think that changes. I think they do rent to own or even whatever. I don't know how they get the money, loans and all type of shit. But they're getting the money to buy the homes that were not for sale for us. Okay. So you've been thinking the same thing, Angie. Well, it's time that we get some answers, right? It's time we get some answers. Janae, peace. Okay, so let's get some answers. All right. Here we go. So what they try to call this, right? So they don't call it gentrification when immigrants boot us out. They call it ethnic succession or immigrant revitalization. All right. Okay. You could change the terms around, make it sound more pleasant and more welcoming, but it's gentrification. All right. So they'll tell you resource pooling, specific government allocations. Hold on. Specific government allocations. They call it systemic preference by employers and banks. Oh, family. The employers who discriminate us for jobs, job discrimination. The banks who redline us, who deny us loans and all type of stuff. Oh, They call it preference by employee. They call these immigrants preference by employers, preference by banks. So how the hell can we ever have a black and brown coalition? It doesn't make sense because we don't use black as a color. So that's a dumb statement, period. But how can it ever be a black Latino coalition when they come in a country and they're more preferred by the same institutions that exclude us and deny us and reject us? They are welcome over here. They are allowed, Tariq word, they're allowed over here to replace us. Okay. So let's talk about the minority funding loophole, right? The dilution of resources. So affirmative action and minority businesses. This is why the language, family, those languages they did was tricky. And that's why when Tariq talked to that lawyer, that civil rights lawyer, he said, no, 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 no. We ain't doing that tricky language no more. No, ma'am. ADOS, FBA, descendants of freedmen. That's it. None of that tricky word. Because affirmative action and minority businesses enterprise, that's MBE. So those programs were originally fought by our ancestors to remedy the specific legacy of U.S. chattel slavery and Jim Crow. The federal definition of socially and economically disadvantaged was expanded to include almost all non-white groups. We died, we got jailed, we fought, we got blackballed, discriminated against, all that stuff. But everybody is able to eat off our plate. And guess what? There's no food for us. It's not even leftovers. Okay. So, and check this out, family. This is deep. An immigrant from a country with no history of U.S. oppression can arrive here legally and qualify as a minority business enterprise, MBE. They can compete for the same set-aside government contracts as foundational Black American descendants of slavery. In many cities, MBE contracts are disproportionately awarded to Hispanic or Asian-owned firms, family. What we fought for, what was set aside for us, they are disproportionately awarded to Hispanic or Asian-owned firms rather than foundational Black American firms, despite the programs often being justified by the Black struggle, by our struggle. Now, I talked about refugees and asylees. Watch this. So now, family, outreach teams. Listen to me. Outreach teams. Matter of fact, let me throw that cash at, because what y'all gonna hear tonight, you ain't never heard me nowhere before. If you did, I'm gonna give that person flowers. But I don't think I ever heard this before. Okay, if you did, let me know. Let's give that person their proper flowers. Outreach programs. Okay. So there is a distinct difference between the safety net available to a poor U.S. citizen and the resettlement package available to certain immigrants, refugees, asylees. These guys get special treatment. Hold on. Let me fix this laptop. Give me a second. Let me adjust this laptop. I got it angled. I don't want it to fall. Yes, it's about to get deep. It's about to get deep. The hell? What the hell? Okay. Okay. Check out this. Refugee benefits. Refugees and successful asylum seekers are eligible for immediate federal assistance through the Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR. So, family, while we be in line They skipped the line. Matter of fact, they just walked straight to the door. No line. We in that long, long line. These guys just walk right in. They got an appointment. This can include cash assistance, medical assistance, and case management specifically designed to help them get housing and jobs quickly. Excuse me? So this is how they're able to gentrify us. Remember I talked about white Americans got a history of welfare, 100 years of it just given to them, HOLC, FHA, the New Deal, the GI Bill, the Homestead Act 1862. They're just giving wealth, ain't earned shit. Well, now, as you can see, immigrants come over here, ain't earned shit, and they're given wealth. They're given housing quickly. It's designed to get them housing and jobs quickly. Watch this. A typical Black American family in poverty applies for TANF, which is welfare. That replaced the ADC, AFDC, or you can call it Section 8, which some of us know. It's more popular, Section 8. Which often have years-long waiting lists. If anybody know about the housing, low-income housing, family, 2, 3, 5. If you guys apply for housing, you're in that waiting list 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years for some people. Okay, so when we apply for TANF, welfare, Section 8, that normally have years of a waiting list to get cash assistance, housing, job training. A refugee family may get fast-tracked support because their funding comes from a different federal bucket aimed at international relations, not domestic poverty. Okay, we talk about pooling, we talk about informal credit. And watch this. How we always wonder, how do Black immigrants buy homes or businesses in Black neighborhoods if they're poor? How, Sway? Okay. They often bypass the American banking system that rejects foundational Black Americans, ADOS, descendants of freedmen. That's how. So rotating savings. There's something called ROSCA. Okay. ROSCA. ROSCA. Many immigrant groups, not just Latinos, West Africans. Oh, I worked hard. Rosca. You worked hard, Rosca? Oh, I worked hard, West African. I worked hard, Caribbean, Rosca. I worked hard, Asian, Latino. We worked hard, Rosca. Okay. So many immigrant groups like that use informal lending circles called Susses, Tandis, or Hueys. 10 people contribute $1,000 a month. Each month, one person gets the $10,000 lump sum cash. Right? This old third world stuff. So they can make cash offers on homes or businesses in distressed Black neighborhoods without needing a bank loan or a credit score. So they do this little pyramid scheme. Cool. That ain't working hard. That ain't your personal savings. You dig? Okay. So how about multi-generational housing? Immigrant families are often willing to live, which we know, we talk about this, 3 to 4 generations or multiple families in one home to pay the mortgage. Now, this is un-American. That's not the American way. That's a third world way. Okay. But whatever works, right? But that's not the American way. We were scarred by that because remember, we had to deal with overcrowding. Overcrowding was systemic for us. It was designed because of the racial zoning laws and the restrictive covenants. So yeah, so we ain't trying to be 3, 4, 5 deep in the house because that's trauma now. We were forced to live like that. We were not allowed to move out the neighborhood, no matter how rich we were. So anyway, so 3-4, this is what Tariq Nasheed always talk about. It's a fact. So those 3-4 generations of multiple families living in one home to pay the mortgage, that allows them to outbid a Black American family relying on a single or dual income to pay rent. Because the average Black family is just one person, single parent, most likely in our cases, or a married couple. But it's 5 of y'all, and y'all talking shit. Okay, so now we're going to talk about systemic bias, the preferred minority. Okay, you ready? So there's a model minority myth and anti-Black stereotypes, right? Banks often redline foundational Black Americans. I'll say it again slower. Banks often redline foundational Black Americans, okay, our neighborhoods, or they view our Black applicants as high risk due to credit scoring models based on historical disadvantage, right? However, some banks view immigrant applicants as upwardly mobile and have created specific programs for those with thin files, little to no credit history. Okay. Many employers, even in construction, service, and tech. You see, ICE was all on those construction farms. They call it a farm, right? Construction sites. So many employers admit to preferring immigrant labor, legal or illegal, over Black American labor, family. This is systemic racism in your face. Racial discrimination. This is job discrimination. This is preferral or preference discrimination. Because of stereotypes, historical stereotypes about us. Lazy, criminal, violent, all that type of stuff. And also, family, a lot of employers don't want us because we're likely to sue when we're racially targeted at the job. We're going to sue. But these immigrants, they're not going to sue. We definitely are. Okay, so immigrants are, their stereotype ain't much better. Their stereotype is docile, right? Or willing to work for less without complaint. So that shuts Black Americans out of their very jobs being created in our own gentrifying neighborhoods. So when you say stealing Black jobs, there's your proof. Okay. There is a massive network of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and nonprofits specifically funded to assist immigrants. Where were these agencies for us? So grant funding, these organizations receive millions in grants from foundations and governments specifically for new Americans, quote unquote, new Americans. How about the ESL factor? Okay. Schools and community centers receive extra, listen to this, extra federal Title III funding specifically for English language learners. They're getting funded to teach these guys English. Now, let me be clear. Most of the immigrants that come over here that don't, I'm not gonna say most, I'm gonna say a lot of those that don't speak English, these are normally, most likely, the illegals. All right. So the illegals get special funding to learn English. So there is no comparable massive federal funding stream specifically for Ebonics or AAVE speakers, what they call us, or specifically for the cultural acclamation of Foundation Black America in distressed cities. Nothing for us. Okay. When a city faces a budget crisis, they might cut general community services, rec centers, libraries that happen in my city, used by Black Americans, while migrant outreach remains funded because it often tied to state or federal mandates. This is deep. So By 2026 standards, this is increasingly recognized not just as immigration, but as a form of economic displacement where the native bottom caste is bypassed by newcomers who are given structural ladders or build their own that the native Black Americans we were denied. But they'll tell us, hey, no, let's support ICE. Support your replacement. I mean, they're illegal. Like these ain't even legal immigrants. But even the legal ones, like, why would we be behind you? Why? Like your design, it might not be your own fault, but you're used as a pawn on a chessboard to stick it to us, whether you know it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, and whether you like it or not. You're being used as a pawn to stick it to descendants of chattel slavery in the United States of America. Okay. So that is basically the short version. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh man, what is this? Give me a second. I'm gonna let y'all go in a second. I gotta come back on. I think I got a topic at 1 a.m. I'm not sure. Come on. I think I had a topic at 1 a.m. What is wrong with this? Just reading the chats. So we got a $2 super chat donation from the Black Gen X. $2. Thank you very much. Well appreciated. We got Dominique. Ron, keep up the great work. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Oh, I see a $10 super chat I missed. Hold on, I got you. FBA Convo, $5 super chat. Shout out to all the FBAs in the building. We1, B1, stay on code. Facts. And we got a $10 super chat from Squib King. Okay. America for the FBA, reparations and restitution for Black America. Only, no political shills. So, family, this is one of my more serious lives. Because sometimes I'll be on here having fun too. You feel me? But I like to be serious sometimes, right? I don't want to be seen as like a clown or, taken unseriously. So yeah, this is one of the serious lives where I'm giving great information, straightforward. But you'll catch, I see a $20 super chat there. I didn't miss you. I got you. So we got sick and tired of sick and tether tired. $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ron, for breaking down the immigrants finesse against FBA. It is systemic racism in a nutshell. Exactly. And like Tariq Nasheed always says, allow, even though he doesn't go into great details, because a lot of times he just winging it. But this is worth digging deep behind it. So now you know for sure. All right. Let me see if I missed anything. So anyway, immigrants, legal or undocumented, they come here with less wealth, limited English, no political power, no institutional access. Okay. They don't come with banks, zoning boards, tax abatements, or redevelopment authorities. Okay. The gentrification is started. So let's put this pin the telling donkey. The gentrification is not started by immigrants, legal or illegal. So that's not the message here. Okay, it's from developers. It's just white people, kind of developers, banks, city governments, universities, and hospitals. Okay, corporate landlords, federal and state housing policy. So it's really just black versus white. And because they're in a powerful position, they can play like this. They can play with us because this is why they have the wealth. We don't have the wealth. But if we had the wealth, we can say, all right, we're gonna make them work for us. We're gonna make them work for us. All right. So so the stage was pretty much set for us to fail as from the program I listed earlier. So the stage was set in 1933. All right. It wasn't like it just started for us to fail. So or not to have much, to not own much. So when tethers come over here and start to point the finger at our current condition and refuse to learn about why we're in this condition, that's why we call them tethers. Right. So before immigrants entered the picture, our neighborhoods, Black American neighborhoods, were already weakened by, like I said, historical disinvestment, redlining, HOLC, FHA that I broke down, urban renewal. I forgot to say that. Urban renewal, when they ran highways through our affluent cities, Negro removal is what it really was. They had, like I said, a highway construction through Black areas, denial of mortgages and business loans. So that meant low property values, aging housing stock, fewer Black-owned businesses, renters instead of owners. That was the goal. Like I said, ownership is the beginning of generational wealth. So they want us to be poor forever. So they're gonna make sure they do whatever it takes that we don't become homeowners. So anybody who's a homeowner, they should feel really, really blessed. So the system often treat immigrants as temporary outsiders, but they look at foundation Black Americans as permanent problems. They look at immigrants as temporary outsiders. They look at foundation Black Americans as permanent problems. Okay, because we're seen as politically demanding. We're seen as associated with risk, right? We'll sue, we'll march, we'll protest, we'll boycott. We've been penalized by credit scoring and policing. We've been blocked by racial bias in lending and hiring. They don't have that history. So immigrants, so that's how we're framed. Immigrants, on the other hand, is framed as hardworking, made up bullshit, but in their homeland is non-existent. Aspirational, how you ran from your homeland. Non-confrontational, really to be violent as hell. Good for revitalization, right? So that is racial bias, not merit. So it wasn't their hard work, because the Charlie Kirks of the world would talk about meritocracy. Oh, it was merit. Immigrants are where they are because of merit, just hard work and educated. And stop. So like I said, government and NGO resources are often redirected from us to them. Outreach programs for us, when there's like resources and money in our cities, no outreach program let us know. Our Democrat representatives don't the Jasmine Crockett's don't be like, hey, Foundation Black America, look what we got here, we got money. That don't happen. The ESL, spoke about the ESL and the workforce funding. So English language programs, job training, and small businesses assistance are often targeted by immigration status, administration by NGOs located in Black neighborhoods, in our neighborhoods, but we don't get them. Not equally accessible to us in our neighborhoods, by the way. So Foundation Black Americans are assumed to already speak English, so no support, even when literacy gaps exist due to underfunded schools. How about minority programs quietly redefined? This is the part I want y'all to understand. Minority programs quietly redefined right before our eyes. This is why they get us out the neighborhood. Gentrifiers kick us out, and whatever that program is called, they mix it, they switch it up to Hispanic, whatever. Many programs once designed to address historic Black exclusion were broadened to include recent immigrants, foreign-born minorities, non-citizens. And the result, same pot of money, more claimants, no acknowledgement of lineage-based harm. So not more money is into the bucket. It's the same amount of money. Now it's just spread it out to more people. So people get to step in front of us for the monies and resources that was for us. So it dilutes the impact without fixing root causes, right? Lending and housing, the quiet double standard. All right. So banks historically deny foundation Black Americans, FHA loans, conventional mortgages, small business credit, commercial leases, even with stable income, citizenship, long local history, still excluded, still rejected, still denied. Meanwhile, immigrants sometimes access ethnic lending networks, community credit associations, government-backed microloans, and NGO-backed guarantees. So it's not because immigrants are favored, but because risk is racialized. Just another way for redlining. Okay, so let's talk about the displacement. So we, Black American residents, are priced out or pushed out. Developers buy cheap property. Immigrants move into transitional housing, often as renters. I don't know, like somebody rents them and they're not even legal. Someone not even legal citizens. And like, how they being rented to with no credit history, no job history? Just anyway, property values rise. Immigrants are later displaced too, right? That's later. That's a fact. And white professionals move in. So, family, the way it works is that it looks bad if they gentrify us. It looks bad. And white folks move into our neighborhoods because, gentrification is bad. It has a negative look on white society and America. So what they do is they replace us with immigrants. Oh, minorities replacing minorities. What's so wrong about that? And then, so the immigrants become placement holders, fam. This is deep. Immigrants become placement holders for white people. They become the buffers for white people. So when they rent homes and do all this 6, 8, 10 people in a house, and when we're displaced, we're in Atlanta, Texas, California, who knows, South Carolina, Virginia, those immigrants, they're later pushed out and replaced. They're just holding the city occupied for white people to finish the job. But it looks really bad politically when they come into our city and buy it up and kick us out. It's not a good look for white supremacy. So they're later displaced too. So the white professionals move in. All right. So like I said, immigrants are they are often buffers, not beneficiaries. They don't stay long, but they're, like I said, they're the pawn on the board. Yeah. So we pay the historical cost. We built the neighborhoods. We survived segregation and exclusion. We were denied ownership, and then we watch others get access without the debt. So that's not xenophobia. That is structural memory. That's not being divisive. Okay, so the question is, did racism block out Black Americans and not immigrants? In many cases, that's yes. And like I said, it won't always be directly, it'll be indirectly. Oftentimes, some of them don't even know. It doesn't matter, it's still happening. So we're trying to tell them like, yo, you're being used. And to thumb your nose down on us is like ridiculous. Okay, so the system avoids confronting our claims, Black claims. All right. Immigration is treated as economic input. Black Americans were treated as political liabilities. This is why lineage-based delineation matters. This is why lineage reparations matter. Okay. So technically, immigrants don't really gentrify us. The system displace us, and they use immigrants to cover white capital movement. So we're ultimately gentrified by white people, but they just use Hispanics to displace us. They favor them in programs monies, outreach program, things like that. So like I said, oftentimes, most times they don't even know. But if you don't know and we know, and you're acting like you did something special, you did like you worked so hard, that's the disrespect. Like we're trying to put them on game. Like, yo, nah, that ain't it. Like you're being allowed, Tariq Nasheed voice, you're being allowed job opportunities, housing opportunities, bank loans. That's allowed. They're trying to get to us, but they are getting to us, and they're using you. So they like you're in the way. All right. So hope you guys like that. I had another topic. I will try to get back on 1 o'clock. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow. And then, but I definitely wanted to talk about some other things. I appreciate y'all. Whoever didn't like the video, make sure you like it on your way out. And you dig? Matter of fact, where's my outro? Where's my outro? I hope y'all love the live. Very informational. A lot of information.
We have to start supporting ourselves. We have to add value to our content and our voices. Hey, haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they done. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they done. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they down. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really in my they down. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me your own, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Please don't, please support on it, I'm really one of them ones, I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. I'm really real one of them ones that they dumb. Thumbs up, subscribe, cash app, $sign on box rhyme. don't like lookalikes. They not like us. They don't like us. They not like us. They not like lookalikes. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They don't like lookalikes. They not like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like lookalikes. They don't like us. We the original, number one, uno. We're not alike, you know. Y'all are liar like we made in the image, our likeness. Our image is righteous, our lineage is priceless. You can't buy or sell it, they tried it, they tried to sell it, they tried it. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They don't like us, they don't like us. They don't like lookalikes, they don't like us. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They not like us, they not like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. They don't like us, they don't like us. They don't like lookalikes, they not like us. We the original, number one on the road. We're not out of light, you know. Y'all are all liar like we're made in the image and likeness. Our image is righteous, our lineage is priceless. You can't buy or sell it, it's right. Can't ever sell it, it's right. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. No, none at all. Visitors should be thankful, or don't come at all. Come at all. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, or don't come at all. Where was the xenophobia when we were fighting with Ethiopia? Where were the bros when we exposed King and Leopold? Where were the vision for righteous when we fought for laws that made y'all migrants? Some grateful, some hateful, but all put up to our table and pulled out with a plate full. Oh. All put up to our table and pulled out with a plate full. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, or don't come at all. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, or don't come at all. Where was the xenophobia when we were fighting with Ethiopia? Where were the bros when we exposed King Leopold? Where were the visa for righteous when we fought for laws that made y'all migrants? Some grateful, some hateful, but all put up to our table and pulled out with a plate full. All put up to our table and pulled out with a plate full. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, or don't come at all. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, or don't come at all. Come at all. that, show me, subscribe.
Make no mistake, we're the only black people in y'all that only eat rat, eat cat. People, you ain't black, you ain't that. Matter of fact, your black is repo, I'm taking it back. Cause y'all making it whack, faking jacks, y'all from the slave, raiding the tax. Bitch, we built the foundation, our innovations were groundbreaking. Y'all ain't wanna get down, now you're around, hating, faking, whittling in and out, the ground shaking. Someone say, FBI, we don't run away. We stay, we slay, we pray, we say, Someone say, FBI, we don't run away. We stay, we slay, we pray, we say, Make no mistake, we're the only black people and y'all the only eat rat, eat cat. People, you ain't black, you ain't that. Matter of fact, your black is repo, I'm taking it back. Cause y'all making it whack, faking jacks, y'all from the slave, raiding the tax. Breaks, pause, we built the foundation, our innovations were groundbreaking. Y'all ain't wanna get down, now you're around, hating, faking, whittling and eating, now the ground shaking. Someone say, FBA, we don't run away. We stay, we slay, we pray, we say, Someone say, FBA, we don't run away. We stay, we slay, we pray, we say,
show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. If you're looking for inclusion, then talk to me, talk to the family tree. We can all ride when it's time to slide on our enemies. And we can all ride when it's time to override these policies. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies. You gotta show me trust. Gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, It's all about the lineage, baby. 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 Yeah. Now what y'all wanna be? FBA, ADOS, free men indigenous. We got shot callers, we got activists, we got politicians, we got lawyers for ya. But don't knock us for being great. Delineate, and now we're singing, hey. It's all about the lineage, baby. Yeah, baby. It's all about the lineage, baby. It's all about the lineage, baby. Oh Lord, it's all about the lineage, baby. Can't nobody take our pride. Can't nobody hold us down, no. We gotta keep on moving. They keep on moving the goalposts. Oh no, no. Broken alliance everywhere. Broken arrows in every spirit. Let's be very clear. We ain't letting up. We ain't getting up. It's our throne, we built it. It's our home. Take your shoes off. It's all about the lineage, baby. Oh no. It's all about the lineage, baby. It's all about the lineage, baby. Oh no. It's all about the lineage, baby. Now what y'all wanna be? FBA, ADOS, free men indigenous. We got shot callers, we got activists, we got politicians, we got lawyers for ya. But don't knock us for being great. Delete it. Now we're seeing, hey, yeah. Can't nobody take a pride. Can't nobody hold us down, no. We gotta keep on moving. We keep on moving the goals. Oh no. Broken alliance everywhere. Broken arrows in every spear. Let's be very clear. We ain't letting up. We ain't getting up. It's our throne. We built it. It's our home. Take your shoes off. It's all about the lineage, baby. Oh no. It's all about the lineage, baby. Yeah. It's all about the lineage, baby. Oh no. It's all about the lineage, baby.
Reparations are lineage based, not your image or race. No different than carrot comes, so you could keep your African and run somewhere else with your marathon. Laugh now, cry later, cause we gonna laugh when you cry at the gator. Alligator, Alcatraz. There's no soul leader. The code is the leader. There's no soul leader. The code is the leader. Subscribe to FBA News and Updates. Yeah. Subscribe to FBA News and Updates. Yeah. I heard tethers flock together. So if you hit one with a rock, then they'll drop together. Why cosplay? Accept your own and be yourself. When you're left alone, you can feed yourself. There's no soul leader. The code is the leader. There's no soul leader. The code is the leader. There's no soul leader. We gatekeeping the culture. From these gates seeking vultures. Got the color so someone gotta hold the line. And somebody gotta hold the signs. No coons, no tethers, no room for white supremacists. We fight, we got it. Mayweather, Mike Tyson. We fight, they take flight. They got Spirit, Delta, US Airlines, messed up hairlines. Alligator, Alcatraz. There's no soul leader. Code is the leader. There's no soul leader. Say it with me, family. There's no soul leader. There's no soul leader.
There's no soul. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to like and subscribe. I heard tethers flock together. So if you hit one with a rock, then they'll drive together. Why cosplay? Accept your own and be yourself. When you're left alone, you can feed yourself. There's no soul leader. Cold is a leader. There's no soul leader. Cold is a leader. There's no soul leader. Cold is the leader. There's no soul leader. Cold is the leader. There's no soul leader. Cold is the leader. There's no soul leader. Say it with me, family. There's no soul leader. The cold is the leader. Make sure to like and subscribe. Subscribe. FBA News and Updates. Subscribe. FBA News and Updates. I'll never give you up, I can never let you down. I'll never run from my homeland and desert you. I'll never lie to my people, I'll die for my people, but forever curve you. I'll never make you cry, I'll never say goodbye, or why would I ever hurt you? I'll never give you up, I can never let you down. I'll never run from my homeland and desert you. I'll never lie to my people, I'll die for my people, but forever curve you. I'll never make you cry, I'll never say goodbye, or why would I ever hurt you? I'll never give you up, I can never let you down. I'll never run from my homeland and desert you. I'll never lie to my people, I'll die for my people, but forever curve you. I'll never make you cry, I'll never say goodbye, or why would I ever hurt you? I'll never give you up, I can never let you down. I'll never run from my homeland and desert you. I'll never lie to my people, I'll die for my people, but forever curve you. I'll never make you cry, I'll never say goodbye, or why would I ever hurt you? I'll never give you up, I can never let you down. I'll never run from my homeland and desert you. I'll never lie to my people, I'll die for my people before I ever curve you. I'll never make you cry, I'll never say goodbye, why would I ever hurt you? I'll never give you up, I can never let you down. I'll never run from my homeland and desert you. I'll never lie to my people, I'll die for my people before I ever curve you. I'll never make you cry, I'll never say goodbye, why would I ever hurt you?
The lineage is in my blood. It's nothing to join. There's no membership, we're FBA.
We fight, we really fight. From the red that we was, it was, it was, it was, it was, wise but letting our rise. We fight, we really fight. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wise, it's about rights. We're living our rights. We fight, we really fight. We fight, we really fight. From the Revolutionary War, Civil War, Civil Wars was about rights, but living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did the diaspora war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. We fight, we really fight. From the Revolutionary War, Civil War, Civil Wars was about rights, but living our rights. We fight, we really fight. We fight, we really fight. From the Revolutionary War, Civil War, Civil Wars was about rights, but living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did they ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. If it's all love, then why did they ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. We fight, we really fight. From the Revolutionary War, Civil War, Civil Wars was about rights, we living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did I ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more.
Hey, family, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We rocked out all night. You did. We're checking out. All love. Maybe 1 a.m., maybe not. We'll see. I do want to talk about Tariq and Senegal. You dig? But we'll see. We'll see. Family, peace. Love you guys. We won. When I say we won, I'm using the plural noun. We won. What does that mean? We're one with the lineage, right? And then I say be one, but I use it with the verb, okay? Be one. That means be one on code. Right? Love you guys.